Cheap Trick kicks us off. It's the Bennington Show. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
And I am Ron Bennington. My ears just popped really bad.
You think from being in the elevator? That happens to me in the elevator.
And also, it's this weird, everybody's got a cold or whatever. It might be a little fucking stuffy, but I just had that moment where I felt like, this plane's annoying. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. That's like the most English song ever by an American band, I believe. It's like a Kinks song by a Midwestern band.
I love the directness of just like, are you ready to rock? Like, this is our first song.
Right.
Are you ready to rock?
Well, those guys, that and Hello Kitties, right? Mm-hmm. Those songs is because they would be opening bands and they wouldn't get a sound check. So they would do those two songs all the time.
Oh, that's smart.
Up front because they knew how to sound check it.
That's
and then
brilliant.
They felt like, okay, we got it. I can't imagine the annoyance of that. You know what I mean? Like, the one thing about comedy is the audience does show up at 8. Yeah. They don't think, I'll get there at 9:30 in time to see Bert Kreischer.
I have always thought it was really shitty, the deal of the opening band, when it's like you show up there, they have to start playing because they have to play on time. They're playing to 5 people. And by the end of the show, like a couple hundred people are there. But it's just like they're just trickling in. They're getting their drink. They're just like...
And I've seen that happen in arenas, not just fucking small places. I've gone into major arenas, and it will always be the same way if you're dealing with, like, somebody that's one of those bands that just the people love that band. You know what I mean?
Right.
I brought this up before with the Petty show, that I told people, get there to see the Replacements. And nobody was there, and the Replacements were drunk and really fucking shitty. My friends, I just had pushed the Replacements at for like a couple of weeks.
I mean, get ready, guys.
Dudes, we should be fucking playing the Replacements all the time. But you guys don't fucking do that. Hey, David. David in Kentucky, what's up?
Hey, guys. Love the opening song. I transformed immediately back. 7th grade, I bought the Live at Budokan album, and one of the most memorable coming-of-age movies, Over the Edge.
Love that movie.
I think that was one of the opening songs. Just amazing.
Yeah. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff, buddy.
Thanks, man.
He just jumped back.
Mm-hmm. Took him back to a place, a time, and a feeling.
Yeah. That's how I get when I eat a slice of pizza. I'm like, oh, my God. This reminds me of Clanks and Marcus Hook. Ladies and gentlemen. Great fucking rock and roll band. Just a great rock and roll band.
I still think also having that band in live on the show was maybe one of the most fun guest experiences I've had doing this show. They are so much fun. They're everything you want them to be. They're cool and they're rock stars, but they're also like kids. Like they have kid energy.
They're pain in the ass too.
They're like teenagers.
Yeah.
I love
like
them.
They don't you can't say, here's how this thing's going to go. You just roll with it. Who brought in these Hershey Golds?
That's Vito. Vito brought in some Hershey Golds.
Did you bring some in for all our guests today?
Yeah, I have a bunch of bars.
All right, so we should wait until guests get here? Smart idea. Thank you, Vito. You're on top of things today.
I like the idea of this already. I think I feel like you eat with your eyes first. That's what Paul Hollywood says.
Well, what is it that you like about Hershey Gold?
I'm into the idea of peanuts and pretzel. I'm into salty, sweet combos. So I feel like I'm already in.
My turn off right there is just the term caramelized cream. I don't feel like I'm going to be a caramelized cream person.
Yeah, I guess, there's a general lack of chocolate. I just realized. It's not a
chocolate bar. It's Hershey's and it's not a chocolate. This is why I've been a wreck over this. I've been a fucking out and out wreck.
You haven't been sleeping. You've been pacing.
Yesterday I did sleep, but in pure 4-hour blocks.
Okay.
So
do you feel like you have enough sleep just at weird times?
I feel awake for the first time this week.
Okay, good.
And then I was just like, why is it so fucking hot today? Because I think that the cold snap had me fucking strange.
It was really weird. And I think it was very taxing on the body. Everyone just looked really drained the entire week.
We all felt like Russians.
And then the weird thing is, then you get temperatures like yesterday it was like 32 or something, and you're like, oh, what a beautiful day. Like normally you would think that was a cold day, but all you have to do is get used to horrifying cold, and then you're like, oh, a little warm in here.
I know. Like today was piss hot for me. I shouldn't have worn my fucking coat. I saw people just walking around in shirt sleeves. How did I fucking miss this? Oh, I know, because I don't sleep properly. The other night, it had been like 24 hours that I hadn't slept. And I just found myself in front of a mirror with a steak knife going like this. I had to go, do it, man. Just fucking do it.
Oh my God.
Don't be a fucking pussy, man. Do it.
That bomb cyclone really did you in.
Yeah, you think it did. I think I was never prepared for a cyclone. And I feel like, even though I'm not near the mud fucking slides, they fuck with me. I mean, it's fucked with me a little bit.
It's like caused an emotional mudslide for you.
Thank you very much. A mudslide of emotional fucking trauma. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Good fucking band. Good band, Vito. The fact that your generation has never put out one good band. You're 25, and there's nothing for you to celebrate.
We're a disgrace.
Who's the artist of your generation, you think?
I mean, in all of music, Jay-Z, I think, is like
he's still. That's not even your generation. Jay-Z was big when you were a little kid.
Jay-Z could be your dad.
This is like if this was fucking 1978, and someone said, "Who's the music of your generation?" You go, "The Beatles."
Now, I want to know your opinion on this.
Please give it to me.
As elderly millennials, Chris and I, do we get to say we were part of the death rattle because we had such bands as the White Stripes, Strokes, Arcade Fire? Yes. You know, there was a rock.
You know what? No, you know what was? It was a breath after the death rattle.
Okay.
So you gotta gasp. Yeah. Like that fucking dude that was dead yesterday. And then he snored. He's in the fucking morgue, right?
Oh my God.
Morgue on a slab. And they just hear
oh
what?
My God.
He's like, fuck, man. Last night was crazy. Everyone was so fucking scared of him. Are you ready to rock?
Oh my God! Right before the autopsy, too. They're right about to cut. This
and by the way,
open.
when you talk about that early 2000s, it was such a small, like 2-3 years.
It was,
you know?
Yeah. But I'm just wondering, do you give me and Chris a little more cred for
more
having
than this
some rock music of our generation? Okay,
yes,
cool.
I do.
He's more of a Drake or Kanye guy. Kanye's probably already too old, but so is Drake. I think Drake would be his.
I'm not a Drake guy.
It's not up to you. Your generation. You have to speak for your generation.
My generation. Well, Blink-182, I think, was my generation.
No, it was nowhere near your generation.
You were
in second grade.
Yeah, you were.
We fucking loved it.
Yeah, but
that's not your generation's music.
It has to be like
music.
You know, when I was a little kid, I was like, "Oh, Elvis is cool," but it wasn't my generation.
Right, your generation is not the music of when you're in elementary school. That's like you get to enjoy that. But normally you think of
late high school into college.
Exactly, that's the time that is like
that's
you
your
get to
time.
claim.
Okay, down
music.
here, it's their time. Up there, you gotta fucking be good enough for Goonies, dude.
Down here, you're supposed to rock.
Yeah, people don't rock.
So then I go Kanye. Kanye is my generation then.
No, he isn't.
He's a little before
We just fucking talked about this.
Kanye became most popular when Chris and I were in college.
Yeah.
Just forget it. You don't have anything. You don't have anything.
You're just a baby, you know.
You're
were
in
still
fucking
in the
mid
womb.
school. Okay? You were still fucking trying to. Your school was trying to figure out how they could get you to lose some weight. Why does Trevor Noah need an African broadcast of The Daily Show? What's that even mean? Is it going to be in Africa?
He's going to be in South Africa, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going to Africa to do a show there.
All right, there is also another good story up about Jay Leno said the negativity of late night is depressing, and Trump is the reason. He feels that these guys aren't going for the joke, and I think we really do live in an age where it's hard to go for the joke.
Yeah, I would agree, but I do think that going for the joke is the more powerful way to handle it. But I do think that ignoring the news is not the answer either, because
the show's
it's too
about
crazy.
doing the news.
Yeah.
But not like, ladies and gentlemen, what we saw today. It's just, you know what I mean? And
Right.
it's very understandable. It's very understandable. You could get up every day and but I think that's even fucked with the news. I can't even watch regular news people because I feel like you guys are doing the same show every day.
Yeah.
No matter who you are. And it is true. They've got no time for Puerto Rico. They're still fucking lights out in fucking Puerto Rico. But the news doesn't give a fuck.
No.
Because they're going, do you believe what this fucking guy did?
He's tweeting
believe
again.
This fucking tweeter does. Okay? You happy with this, Alabama? You got a pedophile running for sen. You know, people are just fucking losing their shit wherever you look. I'll just hear somebody screaming in a fucking coffee shop every once in a while. Just like, what the fuck is this, man? We're getting fucked.
What are you screaming at?
And like, even like in a comedy club, if you bring up Trump, they go to tension immediately. And if someone in the room says, no, I like Trump, and you want to do that fun thing of, tell me what's working, you know what I mean? I'll just feel the whole room just be like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like they despise the person. They despise that guy. Just going, look at the fucking markets. You know what I mean? Like as soon as they, like, ew. And you're just like, this is supposed to be fun. We're just regular fucking people here together. We're all in the same fucking boat. None of us are actually, you know what I mean?
Right.
Of power here. We should be the ones talking about it, having some. Chris, what is this?
Oh my God.
Old
Chris.
girlfriend?
I got a New York Post update.
That shit might work with your Costa Rican, but I know you're running some side pussy, my friend. You got some pussy on the side.
That's why he has 2 phones. Suspicious.
Everyone needs a burner phone.
Yeah, if you're a drug dealer, no fucking regular person ever needs that. This is an interesting thing. Netflix cut the comedians in cars getting coffee, feeling annoyed show. They did not put in Louis C.K. when they released it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they immediately said, okay. I'm only assuming that they got people going, hey, I want to see the Louis C.K. thing.
Right.
So they had to put it in. But Netflix never tells you what they're doing and why and who's successful and who's not.
Well, was the reason that they didn't want to do it is because they're like, well, people think that this happened afterwards. And it's like, why weren't they discussing the allegations over coffee?
It doesn't make sense of this stuff anyway. You know what I mean? Like, what people are making choices based on what other corporations did, right?
Right.
I don't know how many angry people that you would have if you said, oh, here's the thing that we did with Louis. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know how many people were overly angry or overly not angry. You know what I mean? Everyone's after this fucking, the disaster artist now.
Mm-hmm.
He's the latest. They're just kicking his balls in.
He's on the hot seat because he had an acting school that he was doing that he was being inappropriate with his students.
Here's what the inappropriate thing was. It wasn't groping. It was saying, let's get naked for this thing, which is the history of acting. You know what I mean? Ever since at least Hair, you know what I mean? Get out there, be naked, you know what I mean? Like clubs have done the naked fucking stand-up show.
Mm-hmm.
Now people are going to be like, I didn't think I could get stage time unless I got naked for this. I was going to be on the outs. It's not the same thing as fucking rape. It's supposed to be art. No one ever said it's safe. I don't. The fucking world is amazingly weird right now. And there's no place for me to hide. I have been looking high and low, and I need a fucking hole in the wall just to go to. I need a hole in the wall where we're going to lay up for a while. Yeah, but it's so boring. Don't worry. I got months and months worth of opium. This fucking time is going to go by like it was 5 minutes. Like the shit that they're... Are we going to say I went to an art school and they asked people to pose naked, or they put naked people in front of me, so I don't feel safe?
Feel violated?
What the fuck? Anyway, he's the latest. Corey Feldman too is accused of something. I don't know whether it was some of the Angels which I feel like he stole that from Charlie anyway. That's not his piece to do. Hey, you guys were bringing up Jack White, the new single. Have you listened to it, Chris?
Yes, I have, and it's fucking great.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I like it a lot. Yeah.
How much is a lot?
I like it. It's as good as his first. It's as good as anything off his first solo album, which I loved.
Funny. That is the funniest fucking fucking recommendation I've ever heard in my life.
Well, because the first solo album was fantastic. The second one, not so much. But I think this is a return to form.
But you will never, and it's in the same vein, right?
It's a little different, actually. It's almost like a little electronically at the beginning, but then it becomes rock.
Oh, it's 5 minutes, Chris. I can't fucking put the audience through that. And I can't be the kind of person where we're going to play 30 seconds of the new single thing. But you know, like when you haven't put out anything in a little while, and then you put out a 5-minute song, you're basically saying, I don't care if anybody plays this ever. It just doesn't matter. It was funny. I was listening to some music the other day, and I'm like, it is so funny how long it used to take fucking bands to get into the song. That they would just play these weird little things leading up to it.
Right.
You know, and you're like, 2 minutes has gone by.
And then what was it? Just like the increase of pop music and stuff, figuring out the formula that, or radio maybe?
It goes back and forth like that, but now you can't even blame radio. It's people,
right?
You know,
their
basically, yeah. If sometimes if you're like, hey, there's a funny video online, how long is it? Oh, it's 1:17. Where does it really?
Where does it kick in?
Where does the guy get kicked in the balls? That's the part I want to say. Now it's us, you know. Hey Jay, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Yeah.
Devin, I just wanted to say my generation's music because I'm 29 years old and I'm still heavily involved in like the music scene. Like I still attend a lot of shows and stuff. And I think that there are a lot of amazing bands out today, and especially in rock and roll. Like there's a band from Philly, your guys' area, called Sheer Mag, that's fronted by a pretty heavy set female with amazing vocals. And I've never heard any of their music or even mentioned once on your show. And you guys,
I have mentioned her on my show because she went to my college. I know her from college.
Really?
Yeah.
So here you are, Jay, trying to fucking run us down, and we were on the Sheer Mag thing so early, dude. Okay, freshman year.
I agree with you. And again, I would say, since I went to college, I will claim her my generation.
You should.
As opposed to
Vito's. But also, the fact is, you could have sat around and go, oh, there's still great jazz musicians. You just have to go looking for them. And that's not the same thing as being in the culture. You know what I mean? That is not the same fucking thing as being in the culture. The culture has, no one ever had to say, oh, there's this guy called Elton John, and he's been doing stuff for 15 years, and he's really fucking good. That's a whole different scene. No one ever said there's not talented people. I'm sure there's talented novelists, but if we were forced to come up with 5 novelists, it would be very fucking difficult. Yet, if this was the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, you'd be able to name 25 fucking great writers. No one even knows who's a great magazine writer anymore.
Right. And that has to do with the culture, not digging deep, but what is popular culture of the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pop culture. Popular culture.
Because there are always going to be people on the outskirts who are doing cool things. It always 100%, happens.
But that is not. Yeah. But that also isn't the voice of a generation. The generation has to fucking hear for it to be the voice of a generation. And what's the name of this?
Sheer Mag.
Jay, you couldn't have fucking walked into a fucking bee's barn.
I got you, Jay.
As soon as Gail said, I went to school with this girl, don't ever sit and fucking tell me about Sheer Mag.
You hold your tongue, sir. But they are fantastic. I agree.
They're the greatest fucking band.
Mm-hmm. And they should be popular.
Sheer Mag. I love them.
They always had like kind of like lo-fi vibes. I don't know if they're still rocking that, but they're really good.
There she is. Top of the world. Top of the Philly scene. What are you trying to do? They going to read something?
No, it's a plug for our guest about to come in studio.
Why are you talking like that? All right, Bert Kreischer's here. He's at the Stress Factory in Jersey tonight. Sell some tickets. Something's Burning with Bert Kreischer. Available now on YouTube with guests Tom Segura and Bill Burr. Come on in, Bert Kreischer. Bert Kreischer is here. Ow! And the brand new web series is out. Something's Burning with Bert Kreischer. Available on YouTube with guests Tom Segura and Bill Burr. It's very, very funny. And those guys are just great. It's just funny to see them hanging out in the kitchen with you.
Yeah, it was. Bill's. I don't know how much I'm allowed to tell about this, but I think Bill's pretty much deficit funded this company that we have called All Things Comedy.
Yeah.
So when I was like, he was like, let's do something. And I had always had this idea and I said it. And then Tom started laughing and Bill goes, we'll do it. And so with no planning, like literally Al Madrigal's wife planned the meal.
Yeah.
And we just went in and did it. And we laughed so damn hard.
It's funny.
And I think it turned out well. I was really happy with it.
But I believe in that kind of cooking. Gail's mom was always this way with her sisters. Everyone goes into the kitchen while we cook. We hang out.
Yeah.
That's part of the day. It isn't like, the cooking happens somewhere and then comes in like you're at a restaurant. The cooking's part of the whole day.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how much you know about cooking.
Yeah. I spend 90% of my time in my kitchen. Like, I hang out in my kitchen. I'll use my iPad in my kitchen.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of going in the living room, like, at night sometimes.
Yeah, right.
But, like, kitchen is, like, where everything happens.
Oh, we just put an add-on into our house, and my wife designed the kitchen so that people could come in and hang out. And then she went out. It was really cool. This is what I love about social media. I'm doing like a Periscope or whatever, or maybe like an Instagram video, and I'm filming all the tear down of our house. And I was like, all this lumber, they're just going to burn it. And this guy lines up. He's like, yo, I collect reclaimed lumber. That is pine from the turn of the century. When was your house built? I tell him. And he's like, oh my God, do not let that wood go away. You need to grab some and make some. So my wife and her dad went out, pulled out a bunch of really big, beautiful boards, de-nailed them, and made this great table for the center of our kitchen. It looks so cool.
It's fantastic.
Awesome.
And so our all we do is live in that kitchen. You walk up, you get up in the morning, you go and have a coffee, and you hang out in the kitchen. You're so right. I wish I had that insight when we were making the show, but yeah, that's exactly what the show is like.
Yeah, it is. It is, because there's a weird thing that we've gotten into in this fucking country where we act like the kitchen is something where something else happens. But if you go back to the beginning of time, everybody was around the fire.
Yeah.
They weren't fucking sitting fucking 10 yards away from the fire going, when's the food coming over?
And Bill's done, and I say this respectfully, but Bill's done such little television, meaning like I've been a television whore for 15 years.
Yeah.
And so there's part of me that it's ingrained muscle memory to start hosting.
Right.
And Bill and Tom have done such little television that they literally just sat down, started drinking and making fun of me.
Yeah.
So I didn't host it at all.
Yeah.
And so I didn't ask any questions. I didn't we just hung out and they basically made fun of me.
Yeah.
And it was, they're my good friends. So it's not meant to hurt my feelings. So it's great.
It is. It's just really fun. Like you would be acting in the kitchen. By the way, Burr is in this season of Crashing, right?
Yeah.
And he's so fucking intimidating to this fucking Pete Holmes.
Really?
That fucking Burr looks like you could go old school with him, Hell's Kitchen. He's so fucking good at
He
it.
should be hanging out of the 5 points.
Yeah, because there's certain times I'm like this. He's gonna fuck up this Pete Holmes. He's gonna knock him the fuck out.
What's he play?
He plays Bill Burr. He plays the part of Bill Burr. And, Pete Holmes is doing this thing where he's playing the younger comic who's around, and he's fucking very...
Hasn't quite found his sexuality yet.
Exactly. Thinks he's in love with a girl. He just found a new girl and he's married. Okay. But that happens a lot of times when they get Jesus early. You know what I mean? When they get Jesus early, it's hard for them to fucking kick out.
I got in trouble in Utah because we were at the bar, and you're not allowed to stand with a drink at a bar in Utah. And the guy stands, and someone goes, hey man, you can't stand with a drink. And he was like, it's a part of the law in Utah. Utah's got weird laws.
They're weird.
And he goes, so what do you mean? He's like, and I've been kicked out of 2 bars for standing. And so, in my past, and so I was like, yeah, you can't stand, man. You got to sit down with your drink. He's like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, why? And I go, because Joseph buried 12 fucking books. And some Mormon was like, hey, man, I wouldn't do that about your religion. Could you please not do that about mine? I go, are you kidding me? I'm Catholic. They all do that about my religion.
Right.
But yeah, so I got into and then I had to apologize. I really like Mormons.
I don't at all. I put Mormons where I put Canadians, where they tell you that they're nice.
Yeah.
I'm just like, fuck you, man. I'm supposed to tell you that you're nice. You don't tell me.
I think the best thing to do, and I think Catholics have a good idea of this. I think Jews have a good idea of this, where you embrace what's weird about your religion.
Right.
And I think Mormons could use a little bit. You're like, hey, we're weird.
Yeah. Like they're like, no disrespect, but the things they do are so different. Like they've got to wear undergarments.
Yeah, there's
like
the magical underwear.
They didn't think black people were real. Like there's a lot of weirdness.
There, I agree, though. I mean, I know I've seen them and all, but what do they do? Do they get ready? They get dressed like. What are they doing?
I was doing this thing for my old show, Bert the Conqueror, where it was called a backyard slingshot. It was 2 telephone poles. This is in a Mormon compound outside of Provo. 2 telephone poles, bungee cords draped over the poles and strung across. Then they throw a rope over it, pull the bungees down to the ground. You'd click in a climbing harness to the bungees. You'd sit on the back of an ATV. The ATV would take off as fast as it could, and when you couldn't hold on anymore, you'd slingshot at 80 miles an hour back and forth into this valley.
Wow.
And so you remained attached to the cords, but you'd go back and forth. And I was really nervous because they were like, how much do you weigh? I was like, 220? And they're like, that might be tight. I was like, 230, I don't know. And then I was like, this woman that owned the compound, part of the owner's family, she goes, can I get you anything? And I was like, I could use a cocktail. She's like, well, we're Mormon. We don't really do that. And then she came up like a minute later and she's like, I found you something. I was like, oh, thanks. And I went to take a sip and I was like, what is this? And she's like, oh, it's cooking sherry. I was like, I think I'm good.
Right. I'm not a fucking stew bomb.
Do you have any hand sanitizer? Maybe I'll drink that.
This furniture polish really getting a buzz on me, but a headache too.
Scope will do the trick.
Yeah.
This whole fucking light is out here, Chris, for the whole thing.
Yeah, the light of the monitor.
It's like madness is just taking place. What is there? An attack on the city? Is there something they should know about? Oh, okay. So it's not an attack. All right, good. Thank God. All right, we beat him back again. We beat ISIS. Everybody.
I wonder if I could just commit to Mormonism.
No.
Like I wonder. I met a Scientologist one time, and they were telling me, like we were at dinner, and I was like, "So you guys believe like in aliens and stuff?" And the guy was like, well, "Yeah, I mean that's not all of it, but I mean, yeah, that's the tenements of it." And I was like, "So." And he was like, can I ask you a question? I was like, yeah. He goes, what, are you Catholic? I was like, yeah. He goes, do you really think Jesus died then like came back to life 3 days later? And I was like, well, it's not really. And he's like, do you believe that Moses split the sea and they walked and water held up on? I was like, no, that's like and he's like, so you really don't believe in your stuff? And I was like, well, kind of. And he goes, do you believe in aliens? And I was like, yeah. He goes, so you really believe in my stuff, but you kind of believe in your stuff? And then I'm like, this is how they fucking get you.
Yeah. I'm ready to join.
Yeah.
See, the guy who just walked by, Chris, is the fucking MSNBC. He's the really unhappy guy at night.
I was trying to figure out who that was because I only saw the profile.
He's in between the girl and Brian Williams.
Lawrence O'Donnell?
That's him.
Yeah.
That was that fucker.
That's how uneducated I am. I don't even know what MSNBC is.
Stay that way, my brother. Stay as ignorant as you can.
And he's going into Shade 45?
Yeah, he's going into Shade 45. He's got a new fucking song dropping. Feeling good about it. Yo, yo. Now, in honor of your cooking show, Vito went out and got us this today. This is the first Hershey bar of any kind. First Hershey candy in how many years, Chris?
20 years. Since
20. I want the exact date.
I got the exact date.
Did you just guess?
Yeah, he did.
He knows that a lot.
20 years.
He knows.
Good round number sounds good.
He knows if he says something fast to me, I'll go, okay, good.
22 years.
Okay, 22 is amazing. There's no fucking chocolate in this, which is weird.
I like this. By the way, I love a good new candy bar.
Yeah,
I
it's very
know. It
exciting.
is really tempting, right? Like, That's how they get
Can I
you.
open it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're all
let's do
going to open
it.
it together. We're going to treat this like we were invited on your show, and this was the news show. All right, I'll say this right off the bat. I don't like the color.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
maybe not
a
the most
candy
attractive.
color.
No, this is nasty.
They've also they kind of changed the way the way they changed the setup. You know, instead of the Hershey bar like block, they got one going
yeah.
horizontal,
Tetris.
one going.
Yeah,
But it smells amazing.
It does smell really good. You're right.
smell good.
It looks like a bit of honey. Do you remember that?
Yeah, sure, I do like.
It's back before they had real candies.
Yeah.
Just a bit of honey.
All right, we're all going to
All right.
just take. And the name of this is what? Hershey's Gold.
Hershey's Gold.
Peanuts and pretzels. I'm not tasting a lot. My initial bite.
First taste is wax, then eventually you get flavor.
Some sort of crunch.
That's pretzel.
That's the peanuts and pretzels. That
All right. I'm into the salty sweet combo,
Yeah.
but I would almost say it's more salty than sweet. Like I think the saltiness is
I don't think there's enough pretzels and peanuts in this thing.
I got to be honest. There's not enough flavor in this.
yeah.
It doesn't taste like the calories you're taking in.
right. I don't think I could eat more than 40 of these. There is a little aftertaste though,
But it is
but
like
this is subtle for candy. It's
it
subtle.
is. Like is this one of the kind of candy bars like where they're like we're gearing this towards the adult palate as opposed to
My
the
kid is not ordering one. Oh, Dad, I'm looking for a salty sweet combination with a low calorie.
Not too sweet.
Very subtle.
Yeah,
Very
it is.
subtle.
And I'm saying that as a cigar smoker, though, so you might not feel the same. Because
You
I
really
can't
have
even
to-
taste fish. I haven't been able to taste fish in quite a couple of generations now.
It's very subtle. I guess I burn my taste buds off twice a day. Yeah, it was very, very, very subtle.
But you know what the thing is? I would say it's certainly unoffensive. Like I could sit here and eat this whole thing.
Oh, yeah,
have
I will.
Oh, yeah, I'm eating the whole thing.
I have no problem with it.
Vito, what do you think? You're 25. This is your first. This is your generation's first candy bar.
The peanut flavor is overwhelming as opposed to the pretzels, and for that reason, I'm out.
Really, you're not buying them?
No, Jen really did not like it. Jen was very opposed.
So she's from the islands.
Yeah.
You know, everything has to be coconut to make her happy.
Dude, I love coconut. I love like a good sugary coconut.
How do you guys feel about a candy bar sans chocolate?
I wouldn't mind this being wrapped in chocolate.
Look at
Dark
this.
at once.
Can we get some melted chocolate?
I can go get chocolate syrup.
I bet it's good melted in chocolate, covered in chocolate.
All right, I'm going to say something. I feel like it's getting better as we're going along with this.
The
This is the way I thought
saltiness.
about cocaine. Like the first time. Like, I don't know, but I like this thing that's growing. You know? I really enjoy it. I didn't think I was 15 minutes ago.
It tastes like a nice summer base tam.
Yeah. Light cam.
The girl at the Hershey counter was not very positive about it.
What did she say? What is this bitch saying?
People should know.
So I picked it
I
up.
hope she knows where her fucking bread is buttered.
I'm not going to say her name. I picked it up from Hershey's Chocolate World around the corner, and she goes, "Have you tried these yet?" And I said, "No, today's the first day." She goes, just tastes like peanut butter, to be honest.
She's wrong.
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter
I hate when they
going crazy.
I hate when they do that, and you're like, you go to a restaurant, you're like, hey, what's good on the menu? And they're like, nothing really. I hate when they do that, and you're like, you go to a restaurant, you're like, hey, what's good on the menu? And they're like, nothing really. And you're like, cool. Or when they go, is the fish good? And they're like, I wouldn't order it. And you're like, okay. And they're like, but I don't eat fish. You're like, well, then fucking don't answer.
Right.
Just tell me everything's good. I don't care.
I
But you
went,
make it sound like there's fish laying on the floor.
I went out to eat last week with my boyfriend and another couple. And it was like kind of like an old school waiter. He was like, it's kind of an old school place downtown. He's obviously worked there a long time. And he was just like, good choice, good choice, good choice. It got to me. And he was like, And I was just like, did I make it? And he was like, well, I just feel like the three of them got it.
They got bold.
And you, Not even like they went like more like fried, and I was like doing something more simple. And he's just like, I just feel like you could make this at home. And I was like, I've never had a server tell me this.
Oh my
This is so crazy. He's like, it's just like a roasted chicken, vegetables. I mean, like, do you really want this?
Yeah,
and I
but
was
a
like,
good roasted chicken is great.
and I was like, I think I do want it.
Yeah.
Like, so weird. But he was just like, yeah, 3 of you did right, but she's not
like that
doing
dude.
well. And I was like, this is so weird.
I go to Yelp every time and I look at the pictures of what everything looks like.
Yeah.
I need more of that. I wouldn't mind iPad menus where you could flip through and take a look at the dishes.
That's why you love a Chinese food place.
Yeah.
You're like, there it is.
Oh yeah. To this day, I don't think I've ever read a Chinese menu. I look at the pictures and I go, that one. You do this one, but spicy? And they're like, yeah. I overorder when I get Chinese food. I make it rain. I don't think I've ever ordered Chinese food for my family for under $200. My wife's like, we're gonna be eating Chinese food for a week, and I was like, that's when it gets good. It gets really good when you're like, is this still good? And they're like, I don't know. And you're like, let me try it.
It's all coming together now. It's like one solid thing.
All the noodles are just
Yeah, 4
congealed.
days ago it was separate, but now we've got something new.
I thought I had food poisoning yesterday. I guess I dodged it. I ordered a salmon. I'm trying to be healthy again because we went to Tommy and Ari and I went to that game and we ate like fucking lunatics. And so I got salmon and a salad, and it was on top of the salad. So I eat the salmon, and I'm always nervous about food poisoning. I think about it a lot for a fat guy. And so I eat the salmon, and I go, that's good. And I was like, yeah, I'll have some of the salad. And I go, this dressing's pretty interesting. What is this dressing? And then I take one bite, and as I pull it up, I can see there's this gelatinous connection from the bottom.
Right.
And I'm like, and it's in my mouth. And I'm like, okay. And I spit it out, and I was like, oh God, I'm going to get sick. And then I got embarrassed. I didn't want to tell the guy. So I covered it up with napkins, my salad. And then I just was like, I'm done. Thank you. And then I just waited to get sick. And it didn't happen. So I guess, and then I go, maybe it was the salad dressing?
Yeah.
But it looked like a mucous membrane in this salad.
Do you ever notice, though, you'll have some friends that always will tell you that they got food poisoning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Why are you getting it 2-3 times a week? Why are you eating?
You need to get charcoal pills because you can take those immediately after you eat something that you think might be off, and you can head off.
For real?
Yeah, because they absorb all the toxins in your stomach.
Are you serious?
It's just like a little pill, yeah.
Be taking charcoal pills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you get small sick instead of big sick, right? Is that the thing of charcoal?
Yeah, like I think you could, or like if you would have just been a little, like if it would have just upset your stomach,
Right.
you can avoid it altogether.
Oh, that's every meal I eat.
But you can abuse it.
You can?
You cannot abuse it because
I can abuse it.
charcoal just takes all of the nutrients as well.
Oh,
so
good.
if you're like taking it half of every meal, then you're like not getting any of the good stuff.
So does
like,
that mean
from
you're
what you
losing
eat.
weight?
No, you're binging and purging. You're one of those fucking people.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if you could lose weight. Or maybe you can, but I know that they say,
It's
you know,
good
don't
weight.
be over paranoid and take them all the time because then you're not going to have any like natural, like you're not going to have any vitamins or nutrients in your body because it's
see.
going to absorb all of it.
I watched my sister get food poisoning one time. We were at a restaurant out by Fox. It was my mom, my dad, my sister, my wife, and we all got wraps. It was like a place you get wraps. My sister's eating hers, and she goes, it's an interesting taste. And I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, I didn't know it came with it, but I don't mind it. And then we're like, what is it? She's like, it's like a spicy chipotle. And we're like, oh. And so she gets done her sandwich, and she said, what was the extra chipotle on there? And he was like, there's no chipotle on there. And she's like, no, well, like the ranch. And he goes, ma'am, that came plain. She was like, huh? And then literally he's like, I don't feel so good. I don't feel so good.
God, what was it?
It was just bad chicken.
The chicken has exploded somewhere
Oh.
in the wrap.
I've heard so many nightmare stories about salmonella that I am neurotic. I am like Howard Hughes when I cook chicken.
Right.
I am literally like, everything happens near the sink. Nothing splashes. I heard that story that some chicken juice splashed onto something and I am neurotic.
Yeah, like you get it on your hands, then you touch like your, open your oven.
I check the date. And if it's sell by, and when it's past that, I get rid of it. I'm like, I'm not going to run. My daughter, on the other hand, could give two shits. When she was a baby, I was cutting the neck bone out of a chicken or the backbone out of a chicken, and I threw it away, and I said, Isla, do not touch that. Do you understand me? And she nodded yes, and then I go back to the chicken, And a minute later, I turn around and she is deep throating the neck bone. Just, She was, this kid to this day, like one time I made Mexican food and I sliced up like 5 jalapenos real thin and like a mandalay, like sliced them up and I put them out perfect. I put it on the table, onions, avocados, and I looked at Isla and I go, Isla, for real, do not touch these. Like pointing to the jalapenos, not that, because do not touch these. I go back to in the kitchen, I'm cooking, and she comes in whimpering. I said, what? She goes, I think I just ate poison. And I was like, what, did you have one of the things? And she was like, is it poison? Am I going to die? I was like, it is poison, but I can fix it. But yeah, I'm neurotic about chicken.
Our friend Eastside Dave came home drunk, right, one night, and saw that his mom had made barbecued chicken and was in the fridge. So he ate 3 of them. Right?
Oh my God.
And here, it had never been cooked. He was eating barbecue sauce on raw chicken.
She was marinating it.
He was fucking...
Oh, that's the best!
But he has...
like a werewolf!
Yeah. But
It's so gross.
he's so... There's something fucking seriously wrong with him because I don't think his taste buds work at all. Because he had drank, like, pesticide before. And he had drowned when he was a little kid, and I think that his fucking...
Something happened.
I think something bad happened. He still doesn't know. Because he's a guy who's like... When everyone's ordering dessert, he's like, "Ooh, that's so gross. Just give me more meat." Right? He doesn't like dessert. And I think because he only knows it from texture.
Because what he would like is like an app, then an entree, then a closing appetizer. That's like what he needs when everyone else is having
closing apps.
When everyone else is having dessert. Closing app.
My big problem when I was eating with Tom and Ari was this past weekend was that I do this thing when I get into I'm sure it's like a junkie mode, but it's like where I can't get enough. I want more.
Yeah.
And so I would order myself a meal and then I'd order a meal for the table.
Right.
So that we could all try it. But then I just would end up eating the other one too. And so like the first meal, it was pancakes. Like I got myself an omelet and then I got pancakes. And then the next time it was waffles. Mm-hmm. And man, they were the best waffles. I go, Tommy, you got to try these waffles. I covered them in 2 things of syrup, right? It had like a whipped cream butter on top of it. And I go, they're really good. You'll like them. And he tastes them and he goes, yeah, they taste like fucking candy. You covered them in syrup. No wonder they're good. They had like crystallized. They had so much syrup that outside it crystallized.
Yeah.
I had ribs one time in South Carolina and I was with this chef and he was like, these are the best ribs you've ever had. And I bit into one and I was like, oh my God, that is the greatest thing I've ever had. What is your secret? And he goes, I'll tell you, but you can't tell anybody. And I go, I'd love to know. He goes, I dip them in honey. I was like, oh, no wonder they're good. Everyone likes fucking honey.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
Yeah, plug away, Chris.
Bert Kreischer's in studio. Something's Burning with Bert Kreischer is available now on YouTube with guests Tom Segura and Bill Burr. And tickets are still available to see Bert perform tonight at the Stress Factory in New Jersey. StressFactory.com for tickets. And on Twitter and Instagram at Bert Kreischer.
God, you're so good.
Yeah, isn't he good?
Yeah.
He could do voiceover for movie trailers. He's at that point now.
I miss Scope Bros.
You know, yeah, I know. He's off the Scope and went to the other one, and it's boring to me. I saw your Scope with you and Artie and Tom, and I'm like, oh, this is like watching a little movie.
Oh, when we were in the taxi?
Yeah, when you were in the cab and you were talking, and just every once in a while you would just say Ari or Tom say something because you get annoyed when your friend is talking with the driver too much and they're enjoying themselves. You can see Ari wasn't. You know what I mean? Like how that thing gets in. And he'll just throw in a hilarious line.
I asked the driver, I said, sir, if you had to pick one of us that would make a great tailor or a banker or someone running the media, who would it be?
Yeah.
And Ari's like, it's not funny. And I go, if one of us would be a competitive eater, which one would that be? And then I was like, if one of us had a big dick, who would that be? But those are fun. Those are fun if you have a plan. Like I like pulling out a Periscope when I'm with other comics. I'm screwing around because they don't like it, but I can joke with that.
Right.
And it's fun to watch. I don't like this. Like I follow my favorite thing to do on Periscope. Favorite is go on the globe part and click someone in a different country. who's doing something interesting, and then share with your followers and invite all my fans, and then we all go in and watch this person and comment to each other in English, and they're speaking in different languages. I've had some of my favorite experiences ever. There's a girl I follow in Brooklyn who she was doing a wake and bake, and I just shared it with everyone, and all of a sudden she's like, "Oh my God, what are all these followers happening? Who's?" And then she goes, "Oh my God, Bert Kreischer's watching me." My heart dropped. I was like, "She knows who I am."
Yeah.
She's like, "Comedian? Oh my God!" And now I keep following her. One time it was this black chick. All it was her sitting there with her face in her hand, arm on the table, and there was a cheeseburger in front of her, and her intro was about to kill this cheeseburger. She's maybe 15 years old, right? Maybe 13. And she puts her hand in and she's watching the views. And then, so little minimalist interaction on her face. She sees the views climbing and her eyes watch it crease. And then she is suspect. And then she goes, "Oh no, motherfuckers, this ain't happening like that." And she starts blocking people. And I'm going, oh shit. And I can see it coming to me. And all of a sudden she blocks me. I was like, "Oh, I wanted to see you kill that cheeseburger."
I wonder what offended her about it. Like
she didn't want to get trolled.
Yeah.
And I was kind of glad she did that because I was like, I'm sure some of my horrible fans would make a horribly racist comment or something. So, but the others were my favorite, especially when you get, dude, I could tell you the ins and outs of Periscope. I am so into that app. Like, it's amazing. Big in Arab countries. Not one woman uses it in Arab countries.
Right.
Huge in Russia. Not one man uses it in Russia.
That's true.
Yeah. I go find sunsets. Like, when the sun's setting, I'll go check out a sunset in Paraguay. And just, it's so much fun.
It's amazing, too, how beautiful Russian women are, Yeah. And when I was a kid, they act like the ugliest people in the world were Russian women. They would act like they were big brutes,
Yeah, they would always
the Cold War
masculine.
was on.
Yeah.
And now, like, every beautiful titty dancer is a Russian.
Yeah.
You're like, motherfuckers,
so many,
you lied
like,
to us.
supermodels and, like, swimsuit models.
Israelis are gorgeous, too.
Oh, yeah, very.
How the fuck that happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very.
Oh, can I tell you my favorite race of women right now that I really didn't see coming? Indian women.
Oh, yeah.
When I was a kid, I didn't know an Indian woman.
Right.
And I just would never think like, oh, I'd be really attracted. I'm so attracted to Indian women. It's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. They're beautiful.
American Indians or you just like Apaches? And really into Apaches. Not so much Cheyenne. Don't dig them
I love a Sioux, though.
Yeah,
I love a Sioux.
I love a woman who was kidnapped as a young child into an Apache tribe and raised by them.
Right.
Yeah.
So we can still connect as white people, but she's got the,
That was
Dances with Wolves.
Yeah, Dances with Wolves. That fucking movie is incredibly offensive across the board.
I barely remember it, but I remember it feeling very cheesy and heavy-handed at the time.
I almost got in a fist fight in Dances with Wolves because these two dudes were just fucking talking the whole time. And I'm going, "Hey, you want to shut up?" And they're like this. What the fuck? Can't understand it. Just read it anyway. I go, first of all, drop that fucking tone. I'll fucking dive in. I was going out of my fucking mind because I couldn't fucking concentrate. And then as soon as they shut up, I'm like, I wish they'd start talking again. I hate this fucking movie.
Did you see what was the TV show on Netflix that got a lot of pop? It was the one from Germany.
Oh yeah, I watched that. It's like a murder mystery.
It's a murder time travel mystery, which is right up my alley. I'm obsessed with time travel, and you can either choose to watch it with subtitles, or you can watch it with the German dubbed over in English.
Yeah.
And I was like, I looked at the German dubbed over in English, and I was like, I'm not doing that. That's ridiculous. And then I went to the subtitles, and I was like, I'm also not reading a movie.
Right.
So I watched it with it's a great show. Do you know the name of it?
Dark.
Oh.
Yeah. I've only watched the first 2 episodes, but I want to keep going. But
let's get into your time travel thing. What do you love about time travel?
I love that it solves the problem of death. I think that's my inherent love of it. I love that you can go back and relive moments. I already know where I'd go in my time travel life. Like, I know what things I want to relive. Like, and I want to go to the future. I want to see I love the idea of time travel. And I get obsessed. I think I'm just smart enough for Hollywood, like for the Hollywood intelligence window. Like, I'm not so smart where I go, well, that just wouldn't work out. Like, I don't see the, like, I'm smart enough to understand who Kaiser Soze is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm smart enough to. I'm that perfect window that M. Night Shyamalan goes, and now's when you figure out that he's been dead the whole time. And I'm just 1 second after that, I'm going, wait, was he? Oh my God, he's dead! Me and this black guy connected so hard when we saw that movie. I didn't even know the guy. It's the guy with dreadlocks. And me and him took it out into the lobby and kept talking about the movie.
People try to say that they saw that coming. I never saw that at all.
No.
I couldn't fucking believe it.
I saw it. We saw it in the theater.
Yeah.
And it was shocking as shit. Like, it was shocking. And sure,
And
if you
heartbreaking.
rewatch it.
Your fucking heart was broke for this fucking dude.
And I rewatched that movie a couple years ago because, a lot of his later films, not good.
Right.
So I was like, were we just like not seeing that this was actually a bad movie? I rewatched it. It's still a good movie. It is. He did a great job on that movie. And, some of his other films are really bad. And I'm not really sure what it was that he had like one good film.
How many times did you see a guy who wrote one great song?
Yeah, that's true.
The guy's,
And the performances are insane. That kid,
he's
that
unbelievable.
little Haley Joel. I mean, that performance is nuts. That kid is bawling and it's heartbreaking.
Sometimes, you have one good joke that everyone wants to hear every show you go to.
Right.
And you try to work on new material, but they shout it out when you get on stage. And they keep shouting it until you tell it. And then when you finally tell it, they go, I remember it being better.
Yeah, right. Weren't you first went to the train before?
I was, it's so funny. I have my buddy, I'm getting ready for a new special I'm shooting in February, and my buddy's producing it. And I was out at Governor's last night, and I was like, come out. I want you to see what I'm working on, and tell me, I've known him since we were like 12. We grew up in Tampa together. And they were yelling out the machine, and he got done with the show, and he's like, you tell that every show? And I was like, every show. He was like, does it get old? And I go, did 4 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, it's past that now. But I look at it this way. Like, if I saw Ron White do stand up,
yeah,
and he started to tell the tater salad story, I'd lose my mind. I'd be like, that's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Like, I love all his new stuff, but I love that. And so I go, if people want to hear it, it's 10, 13 minutes out of my life. I don't mind telling it at the end. But I do an hour of original stuff. So I don't know. How do we get on me? Did I really flip this into me?
You took it back to you.
Travel.
Oh, we're talking about time travel. Such a narcissist.
It's your way of saying you've been living in the past for quite some time.
Where would you go if you could go back to let's say 2 moments in your life where you could time travel right now? Where I was like, Ron, I got this coin that makes us time travel.
So it would be in my life. Now, would I be in my younger body, or would I be just
like a
walking around
watcher,
now?
like a fly on the wall, or are you inside your own head looking out of your own eyeballs?
Well, I never looked at it that way. You'd be, let's say you could time travel into your old body, and let's say you could time travel now with your body to go witness another period of your life. Like, I'd always like to go back to when my daughters were younger. I really think I messed that up.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
That is like the thing where you're like, was I as fucking in the moment as I should have been? You know what I mean? Did I get how fucking great it was?
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't. I remember reading books to my daughters and just being like, I don't want to do this. I want to play a video game, or I want to check online. I want to go write a joke, or what's going on in my career? And I look at that and go, God, now they would never let, I don't read that good out loud, but.
Right. But they would never let you read.
Like, they would never, like, I tried to get Georgia to sit in my lap the other day. Now, she's 13. I guess that's a little old. But she was like, nah. And just walked past me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we don't cuddle anymore?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, bro.
Right. No, she wants, it's cats in the cradle. No, she wants to go online.
I know.
She wants to check with her friends.
Oh.
Heartbreaking.
And I'm acting like a psycho ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, you
Like,
are.
I start doing things I did in college. Where I'm like, oh, I guess I'm just not that into you then.
Yeah. Yeah, needy dad is the worst thing in the world, right? Like, I thought we used to do,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
every year we do this.
Yeah, that is a weird, that I have seen that many times where parents will do that thing where it's like, what happened to my kid? It's like, you have to, that's got to be the hardest thing about parenting, is that you have to be in the moment, and then you have to be in love with the new person your kid becomes.
It's tough.
Which is really hard, because you're like, you've got to miss that little like 3-year-old who you're never going to get back to that person.
I figured it out. I just figured it out talking to you guys right now. Because I've had a handful of like really connective moments with my kids, and it always happens when they're scared. Like if you scare the shit out of your kid, they need you. So like one time we're in Hawaii and we get caught in like a little bit of a riptide. And I grew up in Florida, so I'm not super concerned. I mean, we're actually in like a big reef almost. Right. So it's not that bad. We're just getting pulled out a little bit. And my daughters start panicking and they're like, Dad. And I'm like, oh, you need me right now. I was like, oh, I get the love I want. I was like, guys, we got this. We're going to swim parallel to the beach. We're going to be totally fine. We got flippers on. And we did it. And it was great. We just went skiing in Utah for a week. And they were terrified about skiing. And so that fear all of a sudden turns them into a kid again.
Right.
I think I just got to scare the fuck out of my kids more.
Right.
Like
you gotta hire guys to bang on the windows and shit.
Hey George, you want to sit on my lap? No, I just call. Hey Tony, go ring the door. Daddy, I need you. Oh, no, now you need me, huh? I'll release the snake.
Here's the thing: when you talk about time travel, there's a certain because here's what's weird. I used to think about time travel all the time when I was a kid, right?
Yeah.
And I remember that I used to lay in bed in summer mornings and hear the birds and have my eyes shut and think, could I move to it? Could I open my eyes and have it be a different age, right? Now that I have that anchored in, even now, if it's the summer and I hear birds chirping, I go, wake up, just open your eyes and be back in your old room. And I fucking try it all the time.
That's weird.
I've never not tried that. But I'm amazed, like...
How crazy if that happened.
Yeah, and I think it feels like it's almost going to happen, Bert. I'm not lying to you. It just feels like I'm so fucking close. But I would love that experience of knowing how we just wasted time all the time in the summer. We didn't have a lot of shit to do.
Yeah.
And I don't know what we did. We just would sit on the stoop for 7 fucking hours or listen to music, but we didn't have a phone to go to or anything.
I think about that all the time, is the way time moves when you're a child. Like everything moves so slow. Like somebody says like, no, that's not today. We're going to do that next week. And you're like, what? Like next week is like something you can't even fathom as a kid. Summers move so slow. You come back to school and you're like, oh my God, like, well, like I don't even remember this place. And what the hell do I do? It feels so long. And now as an adult, like, a summer goes by in an instant. A year goes by in an instant. Years just like feel like they move. But why is it as a kid, like every little minute just feels so long?
Right.
It's really weird.
I look at my daughter talking about, I was like, she's like, do I have to go to high school? I was like, yeah, you have to go to high school. And I remember that feeling of being like, oh my God, am I never going to be done with school? And then now I'm like, oh, it happened so quickly.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with what you just said though, is like, how did I pass the time? Like, what did I do? Like, did I not have anxiety when I was a kid? Like, is anxiety something new? Like now I go, I'm like I have a day off. I'm like, what do I do? Do I work out and then drink and then like what did I do when I was a kid? I literally
you just were.
Yeah. Or like I remember that feeling of like in the summer hanging out with my friends in the neighborhood and you're just like fucking around for hours.
Yeah, you just fucking...
You're talking, you're playing kind of, but you're like...
But especially when you got to that age, you weren't playing games, so you would just go to wherever your friends were hanging out and sit under a tree and fucking just sit there all day fucking talking and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I did that in college. The last time I remember just being like my buddy Hutch is a great guy, but he's a little bit of a mouth breather. And he came back from Kmart or whatever, like Walmart, and he had 3 kickballs. And he was like, and we were like, what are those? He goes, I bought them for all of us so that we could just kick them. And we were like, okay. And he's like, you guys want to go to the park and kick our kickballs? And we're like, huh? So we went out to the park. And he just goes, come on, it's fun as crap. And he just would kick it as high as he could in the air and then chase it. And then we started doing it and we were laughing so hard and we were like, it is kind of fucking fun. But we just ended up kicking a kickball in the air. And I was like, I don't know if I could ever convince my daughters to do that.
Right.
Like you've got to set up a badminton court for them to get outside.
Yeah, it's true. I guess we would always like invent some kind of fucking game too, like have a tennis ball and off the roof it hits the chimney, then it's got to bounce here. We would do that and never even care about it again. You know what I mean?
My daughters have never invented a game.
Right.
They've never invented. I've invented games with them. Like I like to do like a version of golf, but with pennies. So you do it like you put a cup in a bedroom, and then you start from another bedroom, and you just play each other to get who gets to the cup. But I've been betting more games than my daughters have ever thought about playing.
They're just like, no, we're not playing that.
No. One time Isla was in the front yard throwing a softball at my truck because the alarm would go off when she hit it. But that's about it. Isla's a fucking mouth breather. She's a real ninny.
I do like that game. Go ahead, Chris.
Bert Kreischer's in studio. Something's Burning with Bert Kreischer is available now on YouTube with guests Tom Segura and Bill Burr. And tickets are still available to see Bert perform tonight at the Stress Factory in New Jersey. StressFactory.com for tickets and at Bert Kreischer on Twitter and Instagram.
Now, what's the plan with this web series? You keep doing more or just see what happens?
Could be done after these two. We did one with the Sklar brothers. I know for a fact that a bunch of... I don't think any of us expected it to be successful, and it's gotten a ton of views. And so now some advertisers have come forward and started to make it, want to make it. They want to sponsor it, and so then you start to make money off it, and you're like, then it turns into a job. It was just fun,
right?
But I enjoyed doing it, so I'd do more of them. I'm talking with my buddy about doing something similar to what we're doing with a script I'm writing, oddly enough, about time travel. So I think that's the new way that media is going, is you find an advertiser who's going to give you money, and you just put their product in there, and then you just make the thing that you want to make, and you don't really have a boss, and you just put them out, and you just hope that they get tons of views. And I think it's easier when you have celebrities like friends like Bill and Tom and the Sklar brothers,
right?
And, but I think that's where I'm enjoying going. Like I don't want to go back. I have a lunch with Travel Channel or the people from Travel Channel at 2 today, and I don't want to go back to Travel Channel. I don't want to make, I like not having a boss.
Yeah.
It feels better. I used to have a panic when I do stuff. I'd say stuff on air and I'd be like, I'm going to get fired. The idea. And then when I got fired from Travel Channel, I was like genuinely mourning it. I was like, oh my God, this is really bad. And I started connecting with other dads who had gotten fired. I'd never been fired before. And then the freedom that came after that, I was like, oh yeah, I don't ever want to have a boss again. I just want to do my own stuff. And then you look at Louis is a good and bad example, I guess. But you look at the freedom he had when he did Horace and Pete.
Great. It was unbelievable.
And you go, make the thing you want to make. You know?
He needed a boss to say, put that back in your...
I guess sometimes some notes are good.
You still need HR. But
the Horace and Pete thing, man, nothing has ever shocked me in my life when that thing just showed up and I'm watching the first episode and I'm like, is this a play?
Yeah.
Is it a show? And it wasn't any of those things. It was just something different that he was doing. And I would just see star after star on it.
Yeah.
And that fucking thing that he did with Laurie Metcalf where
that was the greatest
she just
episode.
Stared at the fucking camera and did a monologue for 45 minutes was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, that was, I thought just the concept of the whole thing was cool enough, because I could feel him working it out and his writing was, you know what I mean? Like, I just thought it was exciting that he decided to do that. But I think that Laurie Metcalf episode was like a really good piece.
And she wasn't in anything before or after that.
No,
she just showed up for that. But even when you're like, oh, there's Lisa Traeger, there's Nick DiPaolo, there's Jessica Lange. What the fuck is going on?
I know.
Is Kurt Metzger?
Yeah,
it's
right.
crazy.
Here is Randy. Randy, what's up, buddy?
Hey, man. There was a French philosopher, Henri Bergson, at the turn of the last century, who came up with a theory on time perception, your perception of time that you guys were talking about.
Yes.
Like, Gail was asking, why is a kid less? Well, if you think about it, like a 4-year-old, a year is like 25% of his life. And so, like, winter comes around or spring, and you're like, holy shit, like, this is happening again. Everything's new. But a 10-year-old, it's still 10% of your life. And a 20-year-old, it's still 5% of your life. But as you get into your mid-30s, and that's kind of when you're like, oh my, you start to really, really feel like, holy cow, my 20s just blew by and whatever else. I can't remember the numbers, but if you're in your mid-30s, it's 2-point-something% of your life is a year.
I kind of get that. Guys that I've known a long time, like Brian Regan or Jeff Garland, and they live far away, so I don't see him that often. But when I'll see him after 6 years, and I'll go like this. Did you try that hot chocolate? You know what I mean? It just feels like we were just talking about something a minute ago.
That is really weird. And like what he was just talking about, that thing that like, oh, when you go, where did my 20s go? And that doesn't happen until you're 30. Like you feel like your early 20s you're still kind of in that slow moving childhood phase where it feels like time. But then the weird thing is you look back and then you start to go like, what happened? You know what I mean? Isn't it weird that you can't recall all of this time? Like you can't just recall like something that happened when you were 24 years old, but you were living in that moment. It's like a movie's playing, but you're not watching or something.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, I look back and I go, see, another thing that's different is I didn't get into like the self-promotion business where I'd tell you a cool story I did. Like when I was like 26, probably 25, people would tell stories about me and I'd go, oh yeah. And I was like, that did happen. Then everyone would laugh and go, God, bro, you're funny. I go, yeah, I guess I am. And then when I got into comedy, I realized, oh, you have to advocate for yourself. You have to like promote yourself. And that kind of makes me sick because I wonder how great of a story I would have been for other people to tell if I just had lived my life with not looking back and just going forward. Now I look back and I start mining things, and then I start doing things so that I can do them as bits. Right. Like I went skiing with my family. I was like, remember to write all this down because you got to talk about this on stage.
Maybe I should pull my pants down and slide on my ass for a while, so I have that a good ending.
I was like, I did one thing funny, and I literally was like, thank you. I needed that bit.
Hey, Justin, Utah, what's up, buddy?
Hey, yeah, you guys are talking about wasting time as kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to, like in 3rd grade through 6th grade, you played with strings. Now, it's not as like dull as you sound because you tie both ends and make a loop out of it. But we'd make certain designs out of them, and if you can like do it right, you can. We had one that's like bunny ears, where it'd be the shape of a rabbit, and you start pulling the strings apart, and two ears pop out. Another one was
what is this, your string theory? Or your fucking what is your point? I know what you're talking about. Girls do it.
Yeah, you have a really deep voice for a woman.
I was gonna say, I used to do that.
I never saw a guy do it.
Yeah, but like I used to do like you make a cup and saucer, you make the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah,
I still kind of do it if there's like a piece of string like in my house.
What is your point about that all?
Well, it's just I waste so many hours as a kid just trying to figure out my own ways of doing things. And it's just what we were taught as young, how we burn time and keep ourselves busy.
If I would have thought of what I really wasted myself was school. It was like the worst fucking waste for me.
Well,
I'd been much better off not to have done a minute of it.
Weird how much time you are in school and how little efficient learning is happening.
Yeah.
Like it's not set up as a good system for kids to learn.
I didn't learn anything in school.
Yeah.
I didn't learn one thing. I'm gonna try to recall something I learned. I can't think of one thing. I'm trying to like rack my brain about like a history thing, or like I was about to say geometry, but I'm not certain what that is.
Yeah, it's like harder algebra. That whole 1492 thing I picked up in school. I wouldn't have ever got
nice
that.
Little rhyme.
That's when Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
Oh yeah, 1492, first American genocide. Was that it?
Yeah, that was the beginning of it.
Did he discover the Indians?
Yeah.
But he didn't discover them, but he gave them typhoid blankets and said, "Here, wrap up."
Told his guys, "Go ahead and rape."
we had a history teacher at Berkeley Prep who was a con man, and he wasn't a real teacher. So I know what I learned. This guy taught me about barnstorming. He was just obsessed with barnstorming. Mm-hmm. So he would always divert whatever history lesson into barnstorming. Here's the problem with Kennedy. He didn't understand barnstorming. And I remember hearing about barnstorming going, why is it that the one thing that didn't have anything to do with school like attracted me? I was like, yeah, barnstorming. I need to learn more about that. My daughter's got a teacher that I won't say his name, but that she's obs. I think she might have an inappropriate relationship with. So my youngest is really bad at school, but she loves this guy. I wish I could say his name because it's so funny. The way she'll just, let's say it's Mr. Johnson. She'll be like, oh, like we'll be at dinner. It's like, Mr. Johnson's having a rough week. We're like, really? She's like, yeah, I had to bury his friend on Monday. And we're like, how do you know that? And she goes, oh, he confided me. And so then I'm driving her to school, and she goes, can I tell you something about Mr. Johnson, but you can't tell Mom? And I was like, no, that's not how this works. She was like, he got suspended. I was like, what? She's like, it's bull, Dad. These kids are all lying about him. They're saying that he hit a boy. He didn't hit him. I was there, Dad. He didn't. Like, she's going to the mat for the guy.
Right.
And I'm like, Ida, maybe you shouldn't spend so much time with him. And then I'm writing this script. She goes, can you put a part in for Mr. Johnson? I go, what? She goes, Dad, Hollywood's been really rough on him. And like, he just hasn't been given the opportunities that he should because he's a white man. And I'm like, Isla, why? What is Mr. I wish I could. I'll tell you his real name off to air because it really is perfect. But yeah, I didn't learn anything.
Yeah, it's very hard to learn stuff.
College? I don't know how I passed anything. Yeah. Because I never studied for a test. Yeah. I really don't know how I got through college.
You know, I was with some people the other day, and they go, you know how there's that one teacher that you connect with and gets through to you? And I go, I never had that experience.
Not me either.
I mean, I've seen it like in movies. I know there's supposed to be somebody.
Everyone
that
stands at the desk.
But I never had that fucking thing where I didn't have my own Mr. Johnson.
Yeah,
I felt that good about.
Yeah, I had a teacher. The first guy had AIDS and herpes. I remember that guy. I remember this con artist.
Is this a rumor?
No. He died. He had AIDS and he had herpes all over his face.
Ugh.
And so every couple times a month or a couple times a year, he'd grow a big beard and try to cover it up. But I remember that guy. He was really cool. I didn't know he was gay, but he was definitely gay. But he was really cool. I remember that guy. I had a cool teacher in college. I wish I could remember his name. He comes in, we're in English class. English class was 3 days a week. Comes in, first class on a Monday, and he's like 15 minutes late. Comes in, no shirt, leather jacket, motorcycle helmet, and a shirt in his hand. And he's like, you know what? Mondays are bad for me, so let's just do Tuesday and Wednesdays. You guys just write independently on Mondays and, or just have the day off. I don't really care, but we'll see you on Wednesdays and Fridays. And just walks out. And I'm like, oh, I fucking love this guy. So then he'd have us write. And so we'd write all week. And then Friday, we'd all read our stories. I was having a hard time. I wasn't a good writer. And he goes, listen, man, what you got to do is Kerry. He goes, what are you doing this weekend? And I was like, I don't know, probably going to the football game. He goes, do something outrageous. Take mushrooms or something. And then bring around a tape recorder and tape record yourself talking into that. And then just write all that down. I'd like to read that. I was like, cool. So I wrote it all down. We ate mushrooms. I ended up finding out that this tree was a woman because it had a clitoris. I talked to the tree, talked to some shadow people, and I wrote it all down. Is like, this is really cool, man. This is the kind of writing you have to do. He was like, I wouldn't read it, but this is where we're going. And then he's like, Angela, can you read your story? And her story, this girl in our class, her story opens and it goes, I was fucked in the cooler by my boss at work the other day. And he's like, all right, we're going to lower the lights for this one. And she read her story, and I was like, this guy's awesome. So then I started really liking this guy and going like, maybe I'll be a writer. I ended up writing a book, by the way, but I was like, maybe I'll be a writer. Like, this is cool. I go home to class one Tuesday, and his friend, Pat McInerney, I think is her name, is at the front of class. And we're like, I wish I remembered his name. Where's Mr. Whatchamacallit? She goes, he died. And we're like, what? He was like 26 years old.
Oh, shit.
She goes, he died, had a heart attack riding his motorcycle and wrecked it. She's like, we're pretty sure he was doing cocaine, but he's gone. So I'll be teaching the class now. And I was like, oh. And I was like, this guy's been dead for like 30 years now, but I still think about him all the time. He was a cool dude.
Right.
Like just a regular guy that happened to love writing, and I probably partied way too hard. But I'm never forget that girl. I got fucked in the cooler by my boss. And he was like, hey, we're going to have her read this one twice. She worked at Hooters, by the way.
Sure.
Yeah.
And her boss was John Gruden.
Mason Riles.
Bert Grace, you're so great to see you, my
It's
friend.
always great hanging out with you guys.
Love you.
I love you guys.
Chris, why don't you do that plug that you do so well?
Bert Kreischer's been in studio. Something's Burning with Bert Kreischer's available now on YouTube with guests Tom Segura and Bill Burr. Tickets are still available to see Bert perform tonight at the Stress Factory in New Jersey. StressFactory.com for tickets. And on Twitter and Instagram at Bert Kreischer.
All right, right back, Bennington. It's the Bennington Show on a Thursday. Tomorrow, the cast of Crashing will be here. Well, we already taped it, so it's at 2 o'clock tomorrow. And it runs all weekend. But I think it's fun. It's a pretty interesting season for Crashing. And where we once had Bert Kreischer, we now have Dan Perlman. Dan Perlman, everybody.
Yes, thank you so much.
Your new logo, where it's a man holding a pearl, is so
good.
smart. And now I can never get it out of my head.
The weird thing is, like, it's just so subtle. Like, it took me a while to realize what it meant.
Yeah. I tried. It's one of the things you got to keep looking at.
Well, I like
over and over.
but I didn't have to because of the catchphrase. Look at this pearl, man.
Double underlined.
Yeah.
Arrows pointing to me.
Yeah, and then your, .com was there. Good to see you. Here's something we do.
Yeah.
Bert Kreischer just told me the entire idea for his time travel movie, what they're doing, the plot points, and when he wants to start shooting. We could shoot our version of this now and get it out.
Imagine
before he does.
Yes,
we just use the same plot.
Right.
Everything.
Yes. But it's us talking instead of him.
Us instead of him.
Yes.
And if he complains, we're like, man, this is like time travel. If you really think about it, we've time traveled with your idea.
Who are the true time travelers here? We brought ourselves to a world where we stole your idea.
What's the best time travel thing of all time?
Oh, man, that's a good
It's not even hard
question.
for me. Not even fucking difficult for me.
I can't even think like...
Not Back to the Future.
Slaughterhouse 5.
Oh, yeah, of
yeah,
course.
that's perfect.
Fucking
Yeah.
brilliant.
Has there been a
Yeah.
movie of that?
Yeah, there has been.
Unstuck.
They made it in the 60s or early 70s.
Do you know why I didn't think of it? Because I've never seen the movie. I've only read the book.
No one,
didn't know,
the movie never did anything, but Vonnegut liked it. He goes, hey, everybody always hates their movie. I like mine.
Really?
Yeah.
There
'Cause he
have-
had nothing to do with it.
Right.
He
Yeah.
was just like, oh, they wrote my book. I would love for that to be my life. I wish I just wrote novels that they would turn into movies and then pay me for.
Right.
It's such a weird shift because it used to be these authors would write these books and then other people would be like, we want to make a movie of it. And they would be like, oh, fuck this. They'd always hate it. And now
Right.
it feels like people only write books so it could be immediately optioned into a movie.
It's the only reason, because you can't make money off books.
And then your best case scenario is to get that book, get that movie made, and then you can print books with the actors on the cover of
Right,
the book.
yes.
So people go, oh, yeah, like the movie. I'll
that's
definitely
that
read
Matthew
that.
McConaughey book.
Someday they'll actually even change. Sometimes, like, they'll change the name of their book to the movie name. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Forrest Gump wasn't called that. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and that
right.
dude went back and said, fuck it, yeah, put it on there with a picture of Hanks. I was watching this TV show the other night. I don't know if it was on Netflix or one of those. So it's called Longmire, right? So it's about a guy who's like a sheriff in northern Wyoming. And I'm like, oh, this is fucking weird. Let me look it up. A guy who lives in northern Wyoming writes these books, and then it got turned into a TV show, and he's never had to leave northern Wyoming.
Oh, that's
and you're
awesome.
like, what a fucking great life for you.
Yeah.
Just fucking sitting around writing Longmires one after another. That's what I would love to do.
Yeah.
If I could be writing Longmires
Yeah.
this whole time.
What I would
If I
never
didn't have
want to do is be in Hollywood pitching people.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
So you think if someone, let's say you wrote a novel,
Longmire.
Longmire,
Let's just say the novel we all want to write.
and then they come to you and say, we want to make this into a movie, you would say, and they would be like, would you like to write the script? You would just be like, nah.
No,
You
because
wouldn't
then
want to
you're gonna-
adapt it yourself.
No. Just pay
You
me.
want to do work, yeah.
I don't think you're going to get much more money than what they would have to pay you to get your creation to
Right.
write it. You know what I mean?
Right.
They'd probably throw you a couple $100,000 more, and that's going to be the best money you've ever lost. Not taking that. Like, fuck it. Then what's really great too is like whoever wrote like the first Die Hard, he still gets paid every time there's a new Die Hard.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Because he's
really?
got that coming to him, yeah.
Wait.
Even though he's not writing those characters anything.
So,
so wait,
because,
the guy who wrote the first movie,
Yeah.
he gets paid.
So every
for
time-
Well, he created it. I don't know if he
Right.
created it from a book. I just used Die Hard as something.
but you're saying like every time they make a squeakquel, he's getting
He's getting
that
paid
paper.
almost as much as if he wrote the new script.
Man, that's
They're going like
exactly
this, hey, we're writing a new script. Here's your money. Like, fuck yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Some of them probably get screwed over, though. Maybe it's more for, because I was just reading a Tanya Harding profile that they gave her a pretty small amount for her life story. I don't know if they've given her more now.
But she's
It
not
became a
creative.
movie.
She's a fucking
No,
maniac.
she's a
They don't
total
have to
maniac.
give her a fucking dime, you know.
There's a weird vindication of her that's going on right now.
Yeah.
That I
Not
don't fully
with me, bro.
understand.
I feel,
Not with me.
Yeah, I don't get it.
yeah, I mean, I have a hard time with it, and I didn't find the movie to make her more likable in any way.
No.
Even if you think that she's less so directly responsible, even if you buy into that she's less so directly responsible, she's still a bad person in her actions.
She's not a
and
hero.
What happened was really horrible, and like she was like a villain of my childhood, so I can't like undo that.
But
like,
also, she's not the victim. You know,
Right.
Nancy Kerrigan
is.
who people have zero interest in.
I know.
There's
She
no
was
movie about her life.
she
Nobody
was
cares.
So mocked, not just in the movie, but like in life. Like for some reason there was
Why?
Yeah, why me? And everyone was like making fun of her crying because
It's really
someone
weird.
had taken like a pipe to her knee.
Because I read that this profile of Tanya Harding. I think New York Times. It was just talking about how Tanya Harding's just like super resentful of anybody who had money because she came up with nothing. But then they were like, but Nancy Kerrigan didn't grow up with money, and they're like, yeah, but her parents were nicer to her. It's like, all right, well,
She
doesn't
was
mean
cute.
she should get her knees beaten the shit out of.
You know, Tanya Harding was one of the first sex tapes I've ever seen.
Oh, really?
For a celebrity, yeah. It was actually physically a tape that they were selling.
Wow.
And somebody put it on when, it was some
And like,
radio
is
show.
it something like with her consent? Like she like did it for money, or was
That's
this
back
like
when they used to say it's not with our consent, but they would get the
Right.
money.
Right.
It
Yeah.
used to happen all the time. And it was pretty disgusting.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was
wasn't
like an old school porn.
It
Was it
wasn't
like in
a
a hotel, like a bad hotel room?
Yeah, but it was more about bad cock and bad pussy. I mean, I really didn't even focus on the hotel room.
I mean, they didn't even have.
That bedspread is.
Yeah.
I mean, no amenities whatsoever.
don't have turn down service.
Yeah. Her view, she looked out over a wall. What are you going to do? Chris, you plugging stuff?
Yeah, Dan Perlman's in studio. Dan Perlman, who's being presented by Ron Bennington.
Oh, that's why you're here. I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
He's performing Tuesday, January 30th at Caroline's Comedy Club in New York City as part of Caroline's Breakout Series. Go to carolines.com for tickets.
Now, what exactly happens here?
So you're hosting it, which I'm very excited for. I'll probably have one, maybe two other comics just doing a few minutes up top, and then I'm going to do a full headline set. So I'll do at least 45. I'm deciding if I'm going to do 45 or try to do full hour. And then I'm going to premiere. I made like another animated show, so I made another minute teaser. So I'm going to show that. And then I'm going to show Flatbush Misdemeanors.
Wow.
The thing I did with Kevin Iso. So
the whole thing?
Yeah, so it's 15 minutes. So yeah. So that'll be.
Wow, that's only 15 minutes?
Yeah.
All those episodes?
Yeah, it really makes you feel like you've been watching it forever.
Yeah.
Really drags. No, because it's we split it into multiple parts.
Yeah, I
so
watch
that's
it
why.
one at a time.
Right. So we put it all together because that's what screens at film festivals
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. We got into Slam Dance. It's going to, which is like the indie Sundance.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
It's only like 20, 25 shorts got in. So they're going to show that in a few weeks in Utah. Utah in January. Beautiful time. So yeah, full stand-up set, and then I'll show that stuff.
Well, you ski, right?
Yeah, I'm a big skier.
Well, are we all going? You guys want to go for this night? Is it going to be fun?
Yeah.
yeah.
That sounds great.
Beto?
I'm always down.
Hell yeah.
What's that mean? I'm always
I'm
down.
always whatever you guys want to do. I'm always
This is
in.
not like us fucking taking a road trip. I mean, this is going to be a nice night of the arts.
I love arts. I went to art
do it-
school.
Yeah, but the way you're going to, I'm always down. Like, maybe there'll be a fight.
No, there's no fights. I'm a team player.
You know what? You're not invited right now because of this attitude. Thank you. Does
I
everybody
wanna
agree
go.
with me?
Yeah, I'm down with that.
You're always down, man.
Why is he allowed to be down?
I love
No,
Utah.
Chris.
You
Chris
know
is
that.
always really down. You're not so down.
No. Shit.
Yeah, Chris can get drunk. You can
What's that supposed to mean?
shout
You're
whatever.
an alcoholic, dude. You're a fucking practicing alcoholic.
And he's also referencing a time that you were drunk at a show.
Listen,
When I did, yeah.
I hope it doesn't fuck things up, but I'm going to do an hour too, and I'm going to show some videos that I have.
They're mostly home videos.
Whatever you like, Dennis is like, how long has he been up there?
Well, I appreciate you being here.
You just hear me like,
Let's see,
you
what
know,
else?
And that's how my heart broke. Okay? And then you just, like, you go in the back for a while and you come back, and I go like this. And that's when I quit the baseball team. And there was only 2 fucking games left.
That's the worst, where someone starts to intro you,
Yeah.
and then so they're like, all right, next guy come in. Wait, what are you wearing? And they start going
Right.
back into, and they're like, oh man,
Especially if it was going well.
right?
You know, they're not
The
there.
momentum, yes.
Yeah, they're not there to fucking get the crowd back into it. They're there to fucking skate off the last guy's heat.
Yeah, I'm not looking to start from zero all over again. Yeah, it should be fun. I'm really excited for it. So I did the monthly show at Caroline's, but I've never headlined there before.
That's
So
fantastic.
to do that for a night is cool. Yeah. So I mean a lot if people come out if you have nothing to do.
Well, the last time we were all there together was when you did your story show.
Yeah, that was
That's
a good
right.
one.
When you did it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do that anymore?
No, we took a break from it. It just got kind of tiring. And then I think we're both just doing other things. So I was doing the Flatbush thing and stand up and just like filming stuff. So
you were doing other things.
Well, I don't want to speak for Billy. Billy's a very busy man.
Last time I saw him, he was like, "You see Dan around?" He called me back. Not too long. It was like 6 months ago or something. I was at the stand. There was like 8 people there, and I just hear,
"Oh yes."
I was like, he doesn't like it if you even point it out.
Yeah, no.
He doesn't even like it. His fucking feelings get hurt.
But you know, I even in college, people would always be like, "Why is that guy always fake laughing?" I'm like, "No, he literally laughs like that." I mean, I know I've seen him lose it. Like that is his laugh.
If you laughed like that, would you untrain yourself? I might try to undo it a little bit.
Yeah, but can you untrain yourself how to laugh? I've heard people say, "I know I have an annoying laugh," but it's like it's a reaction. It's like a sneeze. It's what comes out.
I don't even like laughing. I don't think it feels good.
I know.
It feels like, whoa, I'm out of control.
To be honest, I hate comedy.
Yeah.
Anytime you're really laughing, most of the time you're just yelling, "Stop it! Stop! Stop fucking around!" Because he doesn't like the feeling of like I can't catch my breath and I don't want to be like
I don't like it.
Yeah, yeah. I have a couple laughs, but like when I really start to really lose it, I can hear how annoying it is, and that's when I get into like my full on like Roseanne cackle, which like is something that happens where it's like. And I'm like, oh my God, no, not that one. But you can't help it. It just comes out.
You are, well, we just had Bert Kreischer. Oh, it's like crazy thing. You know, you always do that.
He's like, my dogs.
You fucking place making
That's
fun
a fun one when it changes the voice.
Yeah.
Keep talking through the laughter.
Yeah, he's just like a childish woman when he laughs. But Gail has a thing, and it's the one thing that reminds me of when you were a little kid, is that when you get a laugh, you start laughing. And you look, your eyes are just like really
Gail is dancing in her seat.
Look at me, I'm getting laughs.
It's true. It is funny, isn't it?
And then, this is my favorite thing about both Vito and Chris, is they've never once made me laugh.
One day.
There's that cackle. It's Roseanne.
Yeah. That's because you guys don't want to be funny, or what?
I very much want to be funny.
I've never seen you attempt. Like, it's always a big shock for me when you go for a joke.
But that was such a serious response.
Yeah, I know.
I very
It's
much
something
want to be funny.
what a funny person would never do.
Well, Vito's always down.
Fucking dick. Here's the thing about Chris. Chris doesn't like full attention. And that's when you get fake Chris talk. And look how he's leaning to his left. He never does that in his regular fucking life. He
You
only
like to
does that
snipe a joke,
Yeah.
where no one's like looking at you, but
Yeah,
you've
throw
sniped
something
it.
in, yeah.
You've sniped it in, and then we're like,
Your throw something is just repeating what the guy said. Or you try to make it as blunt as possible. You'll just yell at big fat bitch.
No, I'll have one talk.
Not fucking
Get it though? She's a big fat bitch. Got her.
That's another fun laugh is the people who repeat the
Right.
punchline. That'll be at shows a lot. Audience
Yeah.
members that do that. Like you say a line like, "Oh, she was tall." She was tall.
oh, got it.
Or if somebody just says true.
True.
True that.
But you don't like the attention of the room on you, right?
Not usually, no.
Not usually?
No. I have also a problem with the human language.
There is.
The human language.
There is
English
a-
language.
yeah,
That would have been
yeah,
the
yeah.
word to use.
The language of man.
What is it about attention that makes you so nervous, though?
I don't know. That's a good question because I mean, when I'm like if I'm live streaming, I don't mind. I'm working in the middle of the street.
Again, this is where a funny person would go for the joke. That was the
yes.
test
Okay.
that I was doing. I was doing that. You say that you go for a joke, but then I gave you a time where you could go for the joke, and instead you just fucking rat along serious. Vito, you never go for the joke either, right?
No, I'm too busy being fat over here.
That's I hate
He was going for a
it's
joke.
self-depreciation. Which, by the way, self-depreciation is just narcissism.
Because it's still looking back onto yourself.
Yeah. And I hate, I mean, I love when a comic's open, but I hate when a comic just doesn't see outside of themselves.
Yeah.
You know?
It's also a weird thing with the self-deprecation thing where you see that a lot of comics being like, I'm single, of course. And you look at them, you're like, I don't know.
You're a pretty good looking guy.
Yeah.
You're just like a normal human.
Yeah. You're just like, I don't know. Yeah. Ugly people get fucked all the time.
Yeah, sometimes they're just, it happens.
I know what you're thinking. Who would ever touch me? Nobody.
Sometimes I want to just say, all right, let's take a look at your dick just to see how small it is. Because I've been hearing about this tiny dick.
Yeah. Like, wouldn't that be funny if you found out that all these comics, like half of them actually had like decent to very large penises, but they're like, the small dick humor goes really well. And then like finally, like people, like they get enough success, like women are sleeping and they're like, he's a liar. He has a big dick. And he's just using that as a joke.
I mean, it's not long, but it's definitely girthy.
What a spin the Me Too movement would take. It's just women coming out and saying, this guy has a bigger dick than he admits.
Who just got in trouble for a hashtag Me Too?
Franco?
No.
Floyd Mayweather.
Oh yeah, Mayweather. Because he put like when someone says I want a Rolls Royce, I always hashtag Me Too.
See, now the thing about that is the problem is I could pretend to be offended, except for I just did the same joke last night to my boyfriend. I was like, "What do you want to eat?" And then he said Chinese, and then I wrote hashtag Me Too.
Yeah.
And like I thought that was funny.
Yours is funnier than his.
It's too common a phrase for us to totally let go of.
Right, and then it's too topical right now to not throw the hashtag on it.
Right. Yeah, Chappelle had a thing about that in his special also, that he feels like he can't say it. It's like, if someone's like, I'm going to the comedy club, he has to be like, I am also going to the comedy club.
Now, Woody Allen, they think this is the beginning of the end for him because 2 women in a row just said, I will never work again for Mr. Wood Allen.
Yeah, I don't know. Isn't it like no other woman has ever come forward, though? I'm not endorsing.
You're saying because like what he did was wrong, but we're still talking about a consensual situation currently with one person. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe not the other kid, Dylan, but
Dylan is the bad one.
I think he would be done if any actress or woman he's ever worked with were to come forward and say that.
Oh, that it happened with them?
Right.
You think that's worse than a 7-year-old? The 7-year-old.
No, I don't think it's worse. I think it would be new.
Yeah.
And that's what would make it worse.
Well, women have decided now, because of the Me Too movement, Mira Sorvino said it today, and yesterday Lady Bird said it, which I didn't even remember that she worked for him. I got a news for you.
Saoirse Ronan?
No, Gerwig.
Oh, Greta Gerwig, yeah.
The real Lady Bird, the one that's based on, not the fucking puppet that just sat in the story that was written for her.
Be mad at the actress.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just fucking. You didn't make any of those up.
She's just like a liar, really.
She ain't Greta Gerwig.
I mean,
she's really the best liar.
It's not even her real accent.
Her hair wasn't red before that.
No Julie off the coast.
So Greta Gerwig says no more.
Yeah, she goes, if I would have known then what I know now, you know.
Wasn't it all known though?
Yeah, it was.
That's
it's been known
weird.
since.
Yeah, it's been.
But I remember when everyone used to say, that fucking Farrell is a nut. That woman, not the victim, but
Mia Farrow.
Mia Farrow.
Yeah.
People used to say, she's fucking crazy.
And it's so ironic that Woody Allen's son is the one who started this whole domino effect.
Yeah. Genius son. Now, here's the other thing, which it's been a long time since Woody Allen's done a movie that I really like.
Yeah.
There's some that I'll go, okay, that's not as bad. Because people always try to bring up the Paris one.
Midnight in Paris.
I'm like, okay, but did you really think that compares to when he was at his
right?
his
I think it was like we were holding on to the fact that it was like it was enjoyable and there was all these funny moments.
Yeah, it was fun. It was nice.
Look,
but if comparing it to
if Dan did Midnight in Paris, I go, buddy, you can do better than this. You know what I mean? Like, I am not going to be easy on you. I want you to go
appreciate
back
that.
and take another run at it. Chris Plum.
Dan Perlman's in studio. Dan Perlman, who's being presented by Ron Bennington, is performing Tuesday, January 30th at Caroline's Comedy Club, New York City, as part of Caroline's breakout series. Carolines.com for tickets. On Twitter, at Dan J. Perlman.
Is your girlfriend going to be there?
She will be there, yeah.
'Cause I don't think I've ever met her.
Really?
I met her once,
Yeah, I
very
didn't.
briefly, at one of your shows.
You didn't meet her?
I met your roommate.
Oh, yes, who won something on the iBang.
Yes.
She won.
She's got a
Awesome Instagram.
Yeah, she's got an amazing Instagram that we didn't know whether she was just grabbing pictures.
I wondered that
And-
too for a while.
And guess what? So
Very
when-
suspicious.
When we brought, because they're unbelievable.
Yes.
But she uses, what do you call those things that you fucking...
Filters? Filters,
Thank
yeah.
you. But
that's fair game on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I understand if you were.
But when we said, "Hey, we're like debating, do you just collect, pictures from around?" I actually hurt her feelings a little bit.
Really?
And
She was like,
"Why would I fucking? That's stealing, dude. You saying I steal?"
No, she.
I said, "No, I feel like you're always cold. Every time I see you, you look chilly."
Empathy with 2 M's. But yeah, I wondered that too because I'd see her post a picture and it'd be like downtown. And then it would just be, it's like, I know you're in your room right now. You're in
Right.
Queens. You're not downtown.
But she said some of it she took before.
She
and
took
held
before
on.
because I know some of them she'll send to me after she takes them and
Yeah.
she won't throw them online yet.
So
that's a
keep
great
going
one,
through.
Colin.
Look at that. That's
beautiful.
I could never in a million years.
And she didn't even know that she won it. I texted it to her. I was like, hey, congrats. And she's like, what? I was like, you won a thing. And she was like, what are you talking? I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, that one's cute. Look at that.
Yeah,
That's
they're real
amazing.
pretty.
yeah.
And she's from New York also. So I think
I like that
that's-
one with the plates. Go back.
Where's she from in New York?
She's from Lower East Side.
That's pretty.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing to be from the Lower East Side because so many people just move in and out of there.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah. I think Che is from there also. But
I could see it with Che, though. Che also always seems cold. He wears a lot of layered
Yeah.
Oh, it
clothing.
must be the neighborhood.
Yeah,
Like if you're from there.
If you're from there, it's not well insulated buildings. Aren't these great?
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
I know
And she
that
works
exact
at
spot.
the stand. If anyone goes to the stand and you like walk in, she's usually the person
The
that
first
greets
person you
people.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are
Ducks.
fantastic.
Yeah, she's great.
Some ducks.
Yeah, who doesn't like ducks?
I look like a fucking.
time to
We got a
Cool
dog
dog.
looking one way.
Yeah, dog.
Another dog
she's-
looking
Oh my
this
God.
way.
Yeah,
Look
you
at-
got to follow her. She's got dogs looking at all angles.
Oh my God, look at this dog.
Name a direction that dog is looking there.
Oh my God, is that her as a kid? That's really cute.
Let me see. That's her? Oh, that is her.
I met her.
At that age?
I met her parents also recently at the stand.
Yeah.
And her mom was real nice, and then her dad was like, "We've met before," and it was one of those things where I was like, "All right, you say yes because I assume I forgot," but I'm like,
Yeah.
"I'm pretty sure we haven't met."
Right.
And then it turns out he was mixing me up with Soder.
That's very nice for
Wow.
you.
It's very nice.
Yeah,
it's
that's
a very
nice.
nice compliment.
The height wise.
A lot of
Height.
girls like soda too.
Height,
A lot of
looks-
girls.
Yeah.
Yes. It's really a lot. Height, looks,
Your aunt
success.
likes soda.
Yeah. There's something about him. The ladies are interested.
Yeah, they are.
Is it that bass in his voice? I don't know.
Who knows?
He also has that little boy lost quality because, his
Yeah.
he didn't have a dad and all, you know what I mean? That's nice out of a masculine guy. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, Louis J. Gomez is a masculine guy, but he's kind of a dick.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's too confident.
He's always,
Yeah.
always looking for a fight.
Yeah. He's always looking for a wrestling fight.
And Dan kind of seems like one of those guys. He's like masculine, but he doesn't seem like he'd cheat on you. You know what I mean?
He also doesn't
He
seem
seems
like
like-
he'd ever throw. He
Oh,
doesn't seem-
Soder, yeah.
Soder.
You
Soder also
definitely
doesn't
would.
seem like a first punch guy.
You're a fucking weasel.
There's that Gail laughing at herself
Yeah,
again.
she loves it. Oh, how she loves to fight her.
When I hear Gail laughing, I'm like, Gail must have made a joke.
Yeah, the only time anyone else makes a joke, she just stares.
I didn't say that.
Ready? Full attention on Chris now.
Hey, everyone. Dan Perlman's in studio. Dan Perlman is being presented by Ron Bennington. Is performing Tuesday, January 30th at Caroline's Comedy Club in New York City as part of Caroline's breakout series. Carolines.com for tickets, and on Twitter at Dan J. Perlman.
Because you're not speaking in your regular voice, it's just going in through one of your own people and just out the other.
That's not my
because they're
regular
not
voice?
hearing you talk about it. You don't talk the way you read.
Good.
Yeah.
No, just throw in one more. Just promo code Dan. If you go on my Twitter, I have it embedded already, so people don't have to remember. But promo code Dan, it's cheaper tickets.
What?
So it's less money.
Every night there, no matter who's there?
No matter who is there. JB Smoove is there the weekend before. So you promo code Dan. Cheap for JB.
I had to, when I went to the Attell show, I had to say I should be on Attell's list. I didn't like that at all.
Oh, really?
I think I'm on the list, but let me just give you money so it's not I don't want you look on the list and I'm not there.
Yeah.
That would be worse than me than just giving you money.
You don't want to wait and have them flip through a thing.
You're just like Bennington.
Is it Benson? Could you be under Benson? I go, if I am, it's wrong. I guess it's George Benson.
The saddest I've done that, though, where I've given a name for a list, knowing I'm not on it, and just waiting while they flip through, and I'm just practicing the feigned surprise that I'm going to have.
You're the exact opposite. That's the exact opposite. You don't even care to be shamed in that moment.
Try looking under Puerto Rican shoes. It might be there. Puerto Rican shoes. Yeah, since a business I'm starting. It's a startup. Doing very well.
That's weird. Because they emailed me. I don't know.
Yeah.
You want to let me in anyway?
I'm here.
I mean, we flipped through the pages. We did look for my name. So we put in
There
that.
we go. Just like, go ahead. Ed. Does that come with free beverages? Because that's the way I was told. I was told there'd be appetizers and free beverages.
Open bar?
Yeah.
I watch my coach.
Yeah. What is this? Dumpling of some kind?
Just keep coming back to the bouncer.
Yeah.
Just bothering him with all the questions. Is there meat in this?
Get out of here.
Is chicken or duck? I don't like duck, but I like this. So
It's definitely poultry, for sure.
I know I don't like duck, but this is wonderful. Maybe
Just hanging out and talking at the back of his head.
Oh, I don't know. I thought tonight'd be funnier, didn't you? I guess he's working through some stuff.
Yeah, you got to do new.
Did you watch the Silicon Valley teaser?
Yes, I did, yeah.
What'd you think?
I think it looks good.
I wasn't impressed. Not impressed at all.
I have not seen that.
I think it was TJ Miller. Was the whole fucking kit and caboodle there for me.
Is this the last season?
I hope so. It's time to fucking either get successful or kill yourself. And now he's doing other technology commercials. You know, he looks like a fucking sellout.
It's with phone commercials.
No.
This is like the who I can't think of his name, but
Red.
yeah,
What's that?
Thomas Middleditch.
yeah, middle ditch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you got to get going, right?
I do. Yeah, I have to.
It isn't just because Dan's here.
No, it's not. It
Where
has
you
nothing
going?
to do with that. I have to peace out early today.
Yeah. Let's just say she's leaving.
Let's just say I won't be
She's-
back.
she's
Are we
leaving.
saying that?
If you know what I mean.
All right, we need to break here, Chris.
Yes, we do.
There's something to read.
No, there's nothing to read.
Good. All right. Who are we coming back with?
Abby Rosenquist.
All right, let's just keep
Aw.
calling her Gail the whole time she's here.
I'm staying. Then.
You know, Abby?
Yes, I love Abby.
I
Yeah.
think she's terrific too.
Yeah, she's a good friend.
How good? Do you know something about her that could be?
I know all kinds of things about
Really?
her.
So
Yes.
you'll give us a couple things.
I
We'll
can
just,
give anything.
We'll
Yes.
just act like we all know them.
I can give full info.
Yeah, good. All right. We break. We're back with Gail Bennington.
Welcome back to Bennington. Abby Rosenquist is in studio.
Yay!
Abby's performing at Good Comedy Theater in Philly this Sunday, January 14th, 8 p.m. GoodGoodComedy.com for tickets, on Twitter at Abby Rosenquist. And Dan Perlman's still here. Dan Perlman, who's being presented by Ron Bennington. He's performing Tuesday, January 30th, Caroline's Comedy Club. Carolines.com for tickets.
Presenting sounds like a very English thing to do.
No,
May I present to you?
it sounds more official. It's like you give me your formal endorsement.
Hear
You've
ye,
knighted
hear
me.
ye.
Yes.
By the way, we all think Abby's the best.
Aw,
Yeah.
the best.
The best writer, the best young writer, and I tell people that all the time.
Oh, thanks, Ron.
I'm trying to think.
Suck it, Dan.
Dan,
My God.
Dan's a different kind of good writer,
But
but,
I don't
his
really get
jokes
to
suffer.
Yeah, I don't get to see Dan
What does
do.
that mean? Oh my God.
I don't know whether have I ever even seen you do stand up?
I don't know if you have actually.
I see you do your storytelling.
Gail has. I
Yeah.
don't know if you have. Yeah. But you'll see Caroline.
Oh, I'm not staying for your set.
Ron's going to be in an Uber by 7:45.
Yeah, just close yourself afterwards. Just like, okay, everybody, make sure you take
Ron
care
got
of the witness.
diarrhea. He had
Yeah.
to go home.
No one ever says that, but it seems like it would happen more that over the course of the night, the MC would just feel sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's enough time.
Especially after listening to Dan's set.
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding.
Abby and I did
I'm
shows
sorry.
together. And,
Don't you two see that you love each other?
Oh, yeah. We do.
Me too.
Yeah.
We did shows in like Maine, Vermont, whatever, like New England area together, and did not grow to hate each other.
No.
After like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah. I mean, it was like barely on the edge. Like, thank God there wasn't one more day.
Yeah, if
but
there was one
within
more day, it would
those
have been. Yes.
5 days.
You know, traveling isn't even easy on real couples,
Right.
let alone people that aren't in
I know.
relationships.
I think that was the key, not being a real couple. I think that's what really carried us is our complete emotional disinvestment from each other.
Yeah.
That's what really let us have fun.
When I was sick, so you had to pity me.
Oh yeah, she was real sick.
You get sick a lot?
No.
Yeah, you do.
I don't. Oh, I mean, it's different. There's different kind of sicknesses. Like I was like puke sick then.
Yeah,
I get
right.
like different kinds of sick.
Yeah, sometimes it's puke sick with her, and sometimes it's a sickness of the mind.
Yeah, no, that's constant. But
by the way, I do love depression during the winter.
Oh,
I
yeah?
know a lot of people struggle with it, but I just feel like, oh, this is so
you just really
comfortable.
sink
Yeah,
into it.
Yeah.
I'm like happiest for the first time, and I gotta say, it's much better than being depressed like last winter.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What are you happy about? You in a relationship?
Oh no, but I don't know. I was on antidepressants, although I stopped taking them like 2 weeks ago, and I think I should get back on them.
Why did you stop?
Because I was like, hey, why not? I was like, I wanted to see.
Crazy
But here's
reasoning.
because okay,
That's a crazy reason. Hey, why not? You're
Because-
unhappy most of the time.
yeah, that's
and then
true.
this is a thing that makes you happy.
Okay, I
People
do-
this
I
weird
have real
pride.
reasons.
People have this weird pride about like not taking them when they
No,
need them. But I don't get.
I don't have that. I absolutely don't have that. It was like, first of all, figuring medication out is such a pain in the ass because a lot of different. There's so many variables, so you don't really know was it actually the medication or did things just get better at that time. And then also my health insurance changed, and I just haven't been. I have to make a call before
Right,
I can
you
go
don't
pick
wanna do
stuff
that.
up, and that's
But
difficult.
you have them and you're not taking. There's just this weird thing a lot of people have where it's this weird
Well, I
sort of
wanted
like.
to see if I could live without him. I'll get back
what are
on
you
him.
What are you trying to prove?
What was the drug?
I'm trying to not be on something if I don't need to be on it.
What was the drug?
Wellbutrin.
Mm.
Yeah, but I'm honestly still pretty fine. My anxiety is just like creeping.
Yeah.
So you're more anxious than you are depressed?
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I don't do is trust myself around doctors because I know I'll start to work them.
What do you mean?
'Cause I
To
haven't
get
been-
more drugs?
Yeah, to get more drugs. I have in the
Mhm.
past, and that's why I don't even when I go to a meeting and they go like, "What was your date? For your chip?" And I go, "I'm not exactly sure because I just worked doctors for the first year or two. I was in the program." I remember saying to a doctor, "It's great just to have them in my pocket. I'll just reach down and touch them and not even need just knowing that they're there."
Yeah.
It was
Right.
fucking gigantic lie. I was just hating them, and I felt good
nuts.
about my life.
I mean, I believe you right now, and you just told me you're
That
like,
is-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I-
Crazy that a doctor would buy that.
they tried to give me because I have like Klonopin for anxiety. And I had already been on it before, but I got a new psychiatrist, and they tried to put me on this like gabapentin thing. And it's like, okay, well, if you have no problem prescribing this for me, then there's no way it's going to work. And it didn't. So then you just got to go back into the whole rigmarole, get it in.
And then I'll also go like, I think my neck hurts too. It's killing me.
I've never done those.
I was taking too much Xanax for a while and
Yeah.
just stopped doing that entirely. That I didn't realize. You too? Is
Oh
that
no,
your
I was just eating Xanax all the time.
Really?
And I also,
You're a big pillhead. For
Eating
a while.
it makes
For
it
a
sound like way worse.
Yeah, I was like eating a lot of sticks. Yeah, it wasn't good. But then like it's just like and I'm just waking up
Well,
fucking.
any of those kind of things, like if you get 2 the first time, you're like, oh fuck, I'm fucked up. The next time you're going to need 3.5 to get to
Yeah.
that same place.
Totally.
And then in no time at all, you're eating like 40 or 50. You're just like, I'm at that point where, and you're just like, I don't know, do I have a problem? You know what I mean? I feel like when I eat all these pills, I have a problem.
Right. I didn't realize the impact of it. Like, it makes you, like, you have a boost and then you just crash immediately. And I would just be like, dating somebody. And then it just like after coming home sets, I would just fall asleep and they'd be like, am I that boring? Like I talked to you for 10 seconds and you're just passing out. Like it would just keep. And also I stopped it I think I stopped it or was going through withdrawal of it like the week of the election, like after Trump won. So it's so weird, like coming back out of this haze and then everyone's crying.
Yeah, right.
Like, look at her. I was like, Jesus, everyone needs Xanax.
Wasn't it funny? Like when that happened, I was like, I wonder if we're all being too dramatic about this, but we weren't.
Yeah.
Now that there's a year out, but we weren't at all.
I was on a plane when the election happened, or when the like results came in.
You tried to open the door?
It won't. The doors won't open in the sky because of the pressure. I'm sorry, I just found that out, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, you guys are welcome.
But according to movies, you can shoot out a window.
Well, if you blow a hole through it.
Yeah.
There was the girl next to me, because it was weird. I guess most people like were probably sad about it, but this one girl next to me, she was like asleep because we were flying to California, and she woke up and she was like, "What happened?" I was like, "I think Trump's gonna win," and she was like, "Huh? Hey, did California legalize weed?" I was like, yeah, I think so. And she was like, "Yes," and it goes back to sleep.
And then you went back to molesting her. Hashtag me too.
The moral of the story is that yes.
Someone just got popped for molesting someone the other day on a plane.
Really?
Just like, on a plane. It happens all the time on planes. A woman will fall asleep and a guy will just, because he's got nothing to do. He's
He's bored. What do you want?
It really
nothing
is.
to do.
It is intimate to have someone sleep next to you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's a very intimate act.
Totally.
And we do it immediately on a plane.
Yes. And you're too cramped in.
Yeah. And I've snuggled up next to guys. Just me and guys.
That is a funny.
There?
It's like first class. You're safer from that, so you have to pay an extra like.
Actually, I don't know. There's like less people up there. There's more space.
I guess. Yeah, I guess. But at least you get molested by somebody richer.
Totally.
Yeah.
Or they just got an upgrade. You know, a lot of those people just travel a lot.
Expense accounts.
Yeah.
So I just flown to Memphis a lot.
It's terrible if you fly first class because then sometimes you won't and you feel terrible.
Oh,
rather than
can't
just
go
like
back.
this is normal.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you ever flown private?
No.
Been in a private plane?
Mm-mm.
It is so great that the rest of your life feels like shit.
Yeah.
You just drive up to the plane, get on it, and they take off. That's the great
That
thing
is
about it.
amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I have it.
Air Force One, because I saw some documentary about Air Force One, and that feels like the coolest part of being president.
Oh, 100%.
That feels like worth the rest of it.
Not only that, but when you're president, you never stop for a red light. Ever.
That's true.
There's no red lights in your life.
Right.
They shut down highways. And if there's a red light, there's just cops going, come on, man. Come on.
The transition back has to be
terrible.
I always wonder, maybe less about the president because your life is still pretty good, you know? But I wonder a lot about, like, if you're like a major candidate and you come that close and then you lose.
Yeah.
Like you go from like having all this Secret Service protection and then they're like, all right, good luck.
But
know?
if you still have a certain amount of fame if you were the president, but it's not the same. And they said Eisenhower came back after being the president for 8 years and just picked up the phone and said, "Give me the gardener." And they're like, "Hello?" He didn't know how phones worked anymore. He didn't know that.
You forgot how to dial.
Yeah, there was just technology changed over the 8 years.
That's crazy.
That he was the president.
Teddy Roosevelt was the coolest post-president guy with all the shit he did.
Tell us why.
Because he demanded, I forget which president, there he is, he demanded that, who was president after? He demanded to be sent to World War I. He was annoyed with U.S. involvement in World War I.
Teddy did?
He wanted he himself to go.
Yeah, of course he did. He was like...
But it's like, imagine
that's
like
how that's
George
his
W.
thing.
Bush
He
saying, like,
loved
I want to
war.
go fight ISIS myself.
Yeah,
And, like,
no, that's
begging the
exactly...
president,
But back then,
"Send me."
especially, they were like... Yeah, it was like a syndrome. Men still have it, but it was worse than
Young men have it now,
Yeah.
but it used to be all men back
Yeah.
then. But when you're like 18 or 19, you're like, I wonder how I
He
would
wanted
do.
to prove himself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wonder how I would do. I'd probably
wanna be a tough
hero.
guy.
But this is after he was president.
Yeah.
He'd been president.
He'd
and then
never
he wants
lost
to
that.
go
That's
and
yeah,
fight.
but that's his whole personality. Is
Yeah.
I want to fight in a war. I want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was his whole
He
thing.
wanted to take a hill. That was the whole thing. I took that hill. Great, man. Truman had no money once he got out. No,
Right.
Truman was there fucking dropping atom bombs on people, right?
Yes.
He gets out, and he and his dog were just riding around the country, staying in regular motels without reservations. He had no fucking cash.
It's like Llewyn Davis.
Yes, he is very Llewyn Davis.
Yeah, he's got his guitar and a cat.
Boy, that Llewyn Davis, I'm going to tell you something right now.
Yeah.
He didn't love the music at all. He had no respect for the music. That's what annoyed me about him.
What are you talking about?
He didn't fucking write his songs,
That's true,
right?
yeah.
And then he sees somebody who is the real deal, who
Yeah.
is a fucking hillbilly.
Right.
And he's like, look at this fat hog. I'm like, fuck you, Llewyn.
That scene with F. Murray Abraham, though, it's so heartbreaking when he plays it in the movie and he just like knocks it out and just kills this one song.
Yeah.
And F. Murray Abraham looks at him. He's like,
What scene? What are you talking about?
When he went to Chicago.
inside
When he
Llewyn
gets to that
Davis.
club.
So he goes. So
Did you
he
see
goes.
the movie?
Mm-mm.
All right,
So
I
he
don't
goes.
wanna ruin it for you.
So all right, I'm going to ruin it. So he goes,
Perfect.
plays for F. Murray Abraham, just kills it. This big record producer, and he just looks at him. He's like, "Yeah, I don't see a lot of money in this. maybe if you shaved your beard, you could be like a third guy." It's like that's
Right.
It's like they're not even listening to what's going on.
But that's no different than American Idol. American
different
Idol,
than-
they would look and they would go, you're marketable, you're not.
Yeah.
You're obviously not marketable. Vito, maybe I could do something for you as a henchman. What are you doing your hair in Crisco now? I mean, that's fucking unbelievably greasy, dude.
I don't know what happens. I'm not shampooing every day like
Use
Gail.
baby powder.
What do you mean? Like just rub it into my hair?
Yeah, like fucking
and-
Ben Franklin used
Totally.
to.
Or dry shampoo. Dry shampoo it up.
Like
that's
post shower, pre shower, or during shower.
Oh wait, you showered?
Isn't that unbelievable?
In his life,
Okay,
yeah.
After, or just like whenever your hair's greasy, whenever it starts looking that way, just throw some up in there, and you're good.
It seems like that fucking dry shampoo should be for campers only.
¿Por qué?
It doesn't seem like anyone would need. Look at that. I just watched grease come off your head when you shook.
I think the headband is holding too much sweat in. I think I got to give it up soon.
Chris, please read plugs.
Gotcha. Abby Rosenquist and Dan Perlman, they're in studio. Abby Rosenquist is performing at Good Comedy Theater in Philly this Sunday, January 14th at 8 p.m. GoodGoodComedy.com for tickets, on Twitter at Abby Rosenquist. And Dan Perlman, who's being presented by Ron Bennington, is performing
Bennington. It's Bennington. How do you not know my name?
Bennington is performing Tuesday, January 30th at Caroline's Comedy Club, Carolines.com for tickets. Use code DAN for cheaper tickets.
Thing about people being marketable. That's what's fun about The Voice, is watching that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they'll listen to somebody sing, the judges will, and like they won't ring the thing, and they turn and they're like, "Oh, we didn't know you were hot."
Yeah, you're hot.
Oh, Jesus.
Or they turn around and you're like, oh, you're fat. Trying to fucking send you a little kid. But, people get mad at that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it is true. It is true.
It's just
People-
reality.
Yeah.
People don't want to live in it.
Yeah. Like, out of all the monkeys, the little girls like Mickey Dolenz. There's nothing you could do about it. Doesn't matter. All the Beatles, hey, Paul's the cute one.
Right.
And the funny thing is, Paul then got his feelings hurt because he's like, I'm smart, too. And they're like, oh, that's
Yeah.
so adorable.
Yeah, that guy really wanted everything.
Yeah. And Ringo was like, look at me rings. Right? All these rings.
Did you know that's why they call me that?
You just need someone to hate, I guess.
Who's your favorite Beatle?
I like George. George is cool.
That's odd. It's always interesting.
Yeah.
George is, as the years gone by, more and more people like George.
Yeah, I think he was slept on.
Well, the other two thought he was shit. They were like, one fucking song an album, George. Don't keep bringing your shit
I'm
around.
going to keep you down, George.
Who's your favorite?
Mine's John Lennon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand how it could be anybody else.
I never
You know-
developed one.
You never even liked the Beatles.
I liked the Beatles. I went through a little Beatles phase. I still enjoy their music occasionally, but I've never liked any of them enough to be like, you know what, they're the one for me.
You have a favorite band of all time?
Oh God, I don't know. Not really.
God damn it!
It changes all the time. I can give you a timeline of my favorite bands.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Bruno Mars radio is great. Yeah,
You don't like him?
I love him. Well, yeah. What's
You
your
don't like him?
problem?
He's fine.
You can't even look like him.
He's so much fun to listen to.
You know what? I kind of do like him now. There's a connection.
All right, Justin Timberlake is going to be doing the halftime show.
Oh, shit.
If he doesn't fucking bring Janet Jackson out, this country should riot.
It has to happen.
It's what I don't understand about that. Did they did intend to have her show her tit, right?
No.
Yes, I believe so. I don't believe it. I think they thought, hey, when this happens, act like we didn't. You know, it's like when you say fuck on TV. You know,
because I'm wondering, like, what if they didn't intend to do it? What did he think was going to happen when he?
I don't know why you pull anybody's fucking shirt.
It was a breakaway top. Like, it was just one tit was just perfectly out.
But why did she take the full blame and he got zero blame?
Right.
Hashtag me too.
Yeah, he's dancing with Fallon
patriarchy.
everywhere.
Yeah, patriarchy.
Right, that's what it is.
See, if you had a Gail here, she'd be like, "That's fucking right, man. Take these motherfuckers down. Take them all down." And I'm like, Gail, I'm a white man too.
I'm trying to infiltrate first, and then I'm going to go crazy.
Get drunk with power.
But somebody, let's say this when it comes to the white man, right?
Okay.
We do want to be in charge, and there's no lie about that. We just feel like we're the best.
And we
for
want
it.
you to too.
Yes, thank you.
I just feel safer with you in charge.
Thank you. Like, let's suppose we were on the elevator, right?
Yeah.
And the elevator starts to it stops and it goes down a little bit, and I just start going like this. All right, here's what we should do, everybody. But if there was like an Asian woman who went, wait, I know what's going on here, I'd be like, would you just let that fucking white man?
I don't know. Asian women know they're good at stuff.
They're not natural leaders the way white men are.
Do you think it should be a white guy running against Trump next, just to?
I've said that to fucking people on and on, but I know this. We're never the left is never getting working people back. They've lost it. It's gone, and that's how I became a Democrat for unions.
Sure,
when I was a kid.
Yeah, they could though if they just like recommitted to that.
No, they can't do shit. With them and saying Oprah, they're as crazy as the right.
That is so crazy. It's also funny.
Is that real? Are people actually saying that?
100%, they're 100% saying that.
Because I only see people saying that people are saying that.
No, I was all over Twitter, everywhere.
People, that's a nightmare.
It was on TV. People were running it like, oh, she might run. It's the same. What's funny about it is like now we just accept that if somebody is like a billionaire, they can just slide into being president.
I mean, to be fair, it's like...
But
what does the president even do anyway? As long as she surrounded herself by... I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not saying she should be president, but fuck, better than...
We wouldn't let billionaires slide into other fields. We only let them slide into president. We wouldn't let Warren Buffett buy the Knicks.
Yeah, we would.
Point guard.
Yeah, he
would.
Totally. Who would stop him from buying the Knicks?
Didn't buy him, but he wouldn't. If he said like I'm the center now, then we wouldn't
guess
allow
what?
it.
There would be guys that wouldn't even cover him. I will tell you this: when you said we don't let them do that, I worked for XM before we came in with Sirius.
Yeah,
we gave a station to Oprah. I know how much millions she made a year.
Yes,
and she did fuck nothing.
Yeah.
There wasn't original programming on there. She came in once with a fucking wheelbarrow. They put a bunch of cash into it. She walked out. That's the way her and Trump see the world. That's not the way.
Of
like
course.
Immediately, if we gave you guys the show, you'd be like, all right, here's what I'm thinking for the show.
Right.
I want to just fucking come up and do this. And she was just like, just put my name out there.
Right.
I'm not doing anything, but here's my name. And Trump does that with buildings. He doesn't own a lot of these buildings that say Trump on them.
They just license his name.
Yeah. And there's people who work there every day.
Right.
And they're not getting any money.
And they should be the president.
Yes, thank you.
I mean, yeah.
You know, it's time we go after these fat cats in Washington. Vito, you're Italian. You voted for Trump. All Italians did.
Yeah, we got it together, and we were like, this is for the working man.
God damn it.
You're not working, man. You're fucking thieves, murderers. You're running fucking...
But they work at it.
They do work.
Yeah.
organized crime.
See, it's like that. Yeah, my stepdad's Italian, and he voted for Trump. But it's crazy because it's like people like him and my mom. It's like they don't think they deserve more than they do. Like they're in the restaurant business. They have been my whole life, so they work like fucking 11, 12-hour days. Like they work their asses off. And I'm like, don't you think you deserve like fucking health care or like, you know, not dealing with the shit you have to deal with? And they're like, well, you know, you work for what you have. And so it's like they also think about it themselves. Right. So I guess they're less hypocritical, but still fucking idiots. All Italians is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, all Italians are just.
I just want to clarify.
I just want to throw all Italians under the bus.
But
Jesus Christ.
Italians do like law and order people. Like even the Italian, like the mafia was like, we need to get behind Rudy Giuliani. And he was like, he's the guy that's been prosecuting you. He's going to fucking stomp you out. Still, he's
but he earned it.
Like it.
That's maybe my favorite. That's really like the one positive thing I could say about the whole Trump thing is that somehow Giuliani did not get a job.
Yeah.
Just
anyone who gets close to Trump is gone.
Yes.
That's fucking, that goes all the way back to when he had his TV show and they had that blonde lady on there. Remember her? She used to be like one of the judges. I think it was Carol or Carolyn.
Yeah, it was Carolyn.
And then there was like a thing like, hey, she's great. And he's like, what? She's fucking gone the next day. He had two of his kids sharing a seat now.
Like baby chairs. Yeah. They got Eric in a high chair.
You know, sometimes I'll go with a story to make it a little, you know, I'll go a little more extreme. I'm not going to like, Chris, please plug, because this is a big thing with these guys.
Abby Rosenquist and Dan Perlman are in studio. Abby's performing at Good Comedy Theater in Philly this Sunday, January 14th, 8 p.m. GoodGoodComedy.com for tickets. And Dan Perlman, who's being presented by Ron Bennington, is performing Tuesday, January 30th at Caroline's Comedy Club, carolines.com for tickets. Use the promo code Dan.
Abby, where'd you grow up? What part of the country?
San Antonio.
Wow.
Yeah.
Texan.
Yep, San Antonio, and then I went to college in Nebraska, and then I was in Austin, and then Philly, and now here.
What was your favorite place to live?
Here. I love it.
I know a lot of people.
I love Philly too, though.
Yeah. Well, Philly is like a part of Brooklyn that's, you know, struggling. It's like the struggling part of Brooklyn. But it is where, like, people either love New York City, and I'm one of those people. I loved it before I even moved here. Mm-hmm. This was like a thing. But I come to other people who are just like, I can't fucking relax a second here. I'll go, oh, yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, I visited when I was younger, and I remember not liking it, but sometimes when you're younger, you, like, blindly don't like things to just not like them.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, no, that
it's also like so different from where you were.
Totally.
It's probably just like.
Yeah, it's shocking.
Yeah.
It's shocking. Not only that, even if I take a vacation and leave New York and come back, I'm like, it takes me a couple days to get into this.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's so weird that I grew up here, but I just from talking to people who've moved here that it's a funny thing where like everything about the city can be intimidating.
Yes.
Even things that are totally in your mind.
Right.
So we were talking to one guy and he's just looking around. He's like, man, the way people dress here. And it's like, it's like, I don't know, everyone just wears clothes.
No, I remember when I got here and I'm like, why is everyone in this restaurant wearing black?
Yeah.
And it was the Me Too You thing that was on at the time.
Moved here during the Golden Globes.
It was bad. It was bad. It was a bad time to be in New York. Me and Dan actually have a bet on when Louis is going to return. I'm not going to tell anybody the date, but I wanted to have a bet going with him because I want to keep this in my mind because I don't think that his pick is bad.
Yeah.
But that was a sneeze.
Oh, it was a hiccup.
Oh, was it really?
She's got permanent hiccups.
Is that right?
Kind of. Like I've had them every day since like middle school, but I only usually get like a couple at a time or like one at a time.
I fucking love this. Does everybody like the story when they hear it?
It's not much of a story.
I know a couple people who have that.
I had a friend who
she has that.
Oh yeah. I had a friend who told me that he thought it took him 6 months to believe that it was real and not me just doing it for attention.
Yeah.
I was like, thanks.
Yeah.
I'm glad I seem like somebody who really needs that.
You seem like an attention whore. So I didn't know.
I mean, I do stand up, but it's not an interesting story to tell. So it's like,
here's one that I do, and fucking Chris has known me a long time, so he knows this is true. I've never sneezed without coughing twice.
Weird.
And every sneeze is a surprise to me. I think I'm just coughing.
Right.
So it's cough, cough, sneeze.
Ah.
Every single time. Why? I don't know.
There's never been a third cough.
No, never been well, no, I could end up just coughing.
Right.
But that doesn't, but I don't sneeze without coughing twice, and I never think to myself, I have to sneeze. I think I have to cough.
Isn't that a thing where if you look up at the light, you can stop a sneeze?
No, you're supposed to help you sneeze.
Oh, it helps you sneeze.
Yeah.
Oh.
You got to get
I
it
never looked
out
at
of
a
your
light.
system.
They always say, look up at the light if you want to read, too. I always put stuff like, oh, okay, I got it
Sneezing
now.
on the page.
Yeah.
Losing a sneeze is the worst.
Oh, it's just heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking.
Life is hard. When I lose a sneeze, it hurts.
They say it's worse than losing a child. I don't know if that's true or not.
It is for
That's
me.
what they say, though. They do say it.
Yeah.
So here I am repeating it.
Yeah. I know we went out for fucking pancakes after, so I can't speak for other people.
Some people seem bummed.
That was a planned. Vito, the hair, it's starting to soak in through the headband now.
The grease problem is getting ridiculous. I've never had long hair before.
It's coming straight out of your skin, though.
The grease?
Yeah, I think it's grease.
Even my face feels greasy now. The hair, it's getting too long to handle. But I just want to have a ponytail for 2 days and then I'm cutting it.
Really?
All I want is a ponytail for once in my life and then I'm done.
Do me a favor.
What an insane
Grow
goal.
your hair to the end of the year. Would you do that? Would you make that commitment right now?
Another year from now?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
let's just say to...
Well, that was like not hard at all to get him to do
It's
that.
like that all the time.
Maybe.
Dude, I could get these guys to fucking cut off their ears. They're always right. Is this good radio? If I do this, if I just slice down,
Both
slice
ears?
it. Do we want to get this up on Instagram? That's what happens when you don't have your own ideas. You quickly try to jump into another one. Is this acceptable? Is this what everybody thinks is good? Yeah, I'll do it. Does that make you like me?
Oh, God.
Let me ask you, Dan.
Yeah,
Are
tell
you
me.
writing any new material, or you still
No.
fucking cruising on that?
Yes.
other
He
stuff?
tells me the same. We meet up to write, and every fucking time it's the same jokes.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that is not true.
What is it about?
I'm just kidding.
Well, you want one of my jokes?
You know what? I'm just worried. Do you have 45 when we go to this? Fucking, that's a lot of time.
Yeah, Abby's seen me do that.
I haven't seen him do that. I've seen you do 30, and it was
Great.
Yeah, it was tough.
She couldn't follow.
Yeah.
She's
Just
reading
because
from
she
her-
laughed
she's
doesn't mean
reading
that
from
she
her
couldn't
notes.
follow.
yeah, no, he's great.
No,
He's
yeah. You want me
great.
to toss out one new one? We
Yeah,
can
just
work on it.
Even a premise.
Oh, wow,
Yeah,
is that what's happening
let's
right
do
now?
it.
So we'll
Yeah.
workshop it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this one. All right.
I have a bit just like that.
Yeah.
Oh, this one. Okay, so I'm like happier with it.
Do that bit about the way you hate Jews. Do that. That's good.
It's okay. He's a Jew.
There's a little much. Some of them are. Well, I'll probably do this there. But I'm going to my friend's wedding on Friday. They're flying me out there, and it's like a mistake. He shouldn't be getting married, just because that's what he told me. You know, like he said, it's a mistake. But I can't say anything. I'm just expected to go and keep a secret near him. You know, it's just weird. We can't talk in that moment. But it's like I'm flying there. I have to get him a gift. Like I should get to give my 2 cents also. You know, it was like a weird moment. We all know if you don't write your own vows, where the minister says, like, if any of you can think of any reason why these two should not be together, speak now, forever hold your peace. It's just a funny phrasing. If any of you can think of any reason, it's like, well, surely we can all think of reasons. I'd say, like, last time we saw each other, he got drunk over Thanksgiving. He told me, I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm making a mistake. So that's a reason, you know? Like, but if I say that, I'm a dick. It's like that moment has been ruined by movies where the guy always objects and he's like, you can get married because I love her. But it's like, I don't love her. I don't love him. I don't even want to be here. I'm just saying it for brainstorming reasons. And then it goes from there. But that's one I've been trying the last
So come out January 30th.
Yes.
with a full version of that and things that aren't new.
But that's this is real life. You want to throw in a joke somewhere in there, yeah. You're just telling us you're concerned about your friend.
I'm not concerned. I don't care. You toss that out there.
Yeah. By the way, I've never seen someone stop a wedding as much as I've seen it on movies, but I've never seen it in real life.
But if they did,
going to the wrong wedding.
If they did, then that would be better. Like marriages would last longer if we could all just give our 2 cents. And just say how we really felt.
You know, my first time I got married, I was a little kid. I was just graduated from high school.
Yeah.
And me and my brother goes, we're in the talk. He says, you shouldn't do this, man.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that everybody was laughing, is that I'd done so much coke the night before. I was sniffling the whole time, and all my fucking friends were laughing.
Everybody just thought you were emotional on your wedding day.
Yeah, I don't know. No, in my neighborhood, everyone said he did a lot of coke.
Oh, yeah, everybody knew. Okay.
Did you do it because you were panicked about getting married? Or
No,
just
I did
'cause you were
coke
doing
every
it?
day.
It's just another night.
Yeah.
It's just a Thursday.
As a matter of fact, this is a swear to God true story. The band, we had a band there, and I got them high, and then the fucking guy dedicates a song to me, of Tom Petty's song that opens up with "So you think you can take her away with your money and your cocaine." My parents like, what the fuck, man? Why would he dedicate that? I go, this guy's a fucking maniac, ma. That has nothing to do with what we're doing.
As if she doesn't know.
I go, this guy's fucking insane.
You tried coke.
I did.
Do you love it?
I didn't do it very much. I
Who'd
guess
you
I
do
did
it with?
Some other comics. Yeah, on New Year's Eve.
You're hanging around with the wrong crowd.
I guess so. Yeah, I didn't do enough to really feel much, so I guess I need a round 2. I don't know.
Or not at all.
I just wasn't drinking.
The other option is not.
I'm just curious what it's like. It's not. I don't have an addictive personality, so I'm not super worried about it. And also, I wasn't drinking, so it was New Year's Eve, and I was like, "Why, you got to do something?"
Why aren't you drinking?
Because like it affects me in a way that's unpleasant.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Physically?
Yeah. I have this thing called interstitial cystitis, so it makes me feel like I have a UTI the next day, which is a fucking nightmare. So yeah,
I've never even heard of this.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's fairly common. Like the doctors don't really have much information on it. It's like a fucking pain in the ass.
Wow.
Yeah, I love being a woman.
Chris, with all the drinking you do, could you imagine if you had even the slightest?
That would be fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't drank, and I'll probably try doing it again anyway.
Sure, why not? To see if you get a UTI.
I'll just keep being in pain.
Do it before your Philly hour.
So I feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
You're doing an hour at this theater?
Yeah, it's my
Wow.
first time doing an hour.
Sweet.
Yeah. It'll be
Look at
good.
this. Everybody's breaking through.
Yeah.
Everybody's breaking through.
Me first, and then Dan.
Break on through.
Hopefully.
That's my favorite Doors song, I think.
Break on through?
Yeah.
Break on
That was the
through.
first song on that album.
Yeah. The Doors probably have the biggest range, I think, between like songs that are great and songs that I find just like unlistenable.
All right, let's go through. What are your give me 3 faves, 3 this is embarrassing.
I like Break On Through. I like Light My Fire. I like
You like the hits. You're a guy who
I'm
likes the
trying to
hits.
think of hits. So
Yeah.
Well, what are the bad
LA
ones?
Woman. That's a great
Okay,
one.
that's a great one. All right, let's now into the shit.
Riders on the Storm. I hate.
Riders on the Storm.
I hate.
Fair enough.
Boom,
If they-
boom, boom, boom.
If I was, I don't know anything. But
Let me tell you
if I were
this.
producing that and they were doing that, I would be like, just take the rest of the day.
They
We're making
produced
a
that
mistake.
themselves, so there's no one to tell them that.
I would not have
But
agreed
here's
with
the
that.
deal on that. I would agree with you 100%, and yet I don't think I've ever turned that song off.
I don't.
It's very easy
Well,
to
yeah,
sing.
I've never made
exactly.
it to the end.
Any
Yeah.
song, if a song I can sing along
Yeah.
to, then I will be singing
Please
along
stop.
to it.
This is the end. That's another one I can't stand.
I love it. And by the way, you hate that because you never did acid, right?
Yeah, I've never
I
done
tripped
acid.
to that.
Oh yeah,
fucking
wait,
song
are
so
you
many
gonna do
times.
it? Would you do it?
Would I
Why
do
haven't
acid?
you done it?
I don't know.
I'll
You wanna
dose
do
you.
it with me?
Shrooms?
I'll dose you.
I would try acid. I don't have no interest in coke, but I would try acid.
And you've done shrooms though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I also didn't feel that much.
Yeah,
Bummer.
Shroom is just it's a fucking something to put on your plate. Acid is the real fucking deal.
Is it?
That's where we're at.
Really?
Yeah.
You
Which do
prefer
you-
acid?
Oh yeah.
Which-
Much more.
Which do you miss the most?
I don't. Well, there's a time limit on how much acid you can do.
Right.
There's, I don't know what the number is, but at a fucking point you're going, I'm not doing that.
Well, I know
I'm not
this.
going back there.
There's this guy with Tourette's, and he said that I know in Philly, and he like apparently did acid, and then he didn't have Tourette's before that, and then he did acid, and he had Tourette's after that.
I don't know.
See, here's the thing: I don't generally believe these like little stories. It's like I
Yeah.
know this guy.
Right. And you knew him not to have it before.
I don't know that, but he seems like a nice guy, and I'm from.
There was a kid in my neighborhood that they fucking dosed. They were all friends together. These were guys that are just like a year or two older, and like he wasn't partying like they were, so they just dosed. They put some acid, some food, and he kind of became Brian Wilson after that. You know what I mean? Like he got really out there,
Right.
strange,
Yeah.
and started to gain an incredible amount of weight.
Yeah.
The worst thing is if you ever read like online, any sort of online forum or anything, people always have the craziest
Acid stories?
or about any sort of thing.
Yeah, I'll never
Like,
believe
you're talking about
those.
pills or whatever. It's like, oh, I took this pill or antidepressant, and then I started wanting to kill my mom. It's like all this like crazy shit. Everyone's got like these crazy violent.
Then I must be on pills. But I will say this: I wish I would have waited with acid. I wish I wasn't so young.
Right.
When I
Why?
did, if I to have done it as an adult, I think would have been much more powerful, and I would have had a path of what I wanted to do it for and explore about myself instead of not having any philosophy or spirituality before I did, just be like running down the street with my friends.
Right. That's interesting. You could have untapped. You made discoveries.
And
or
now I
whatever.
don't feel like I could go back there because I feel like I could go back to being 14 years old again.
Right.
You were 14 when you
Yeah.
did it? I've only done it once.
There was a drug, people don't even do it anymore, but it was PCP, which is like angel dust or tick where you would snort it. People don't do it. But I would go to a place that had only existed where I did that drug. So it felt like it was a second after I had done the drug.
Right.
Right. But anything that happened in between didn't. And I remember being in this spacey place going like this. If only I could figure out what's important about this, I would understand time better. But I'm too fucking stupid to put this together.
Right.
Or is this the real reality? Is this there was like a real me that existed in that place
Yes.
that doesn't exist here?
See, I think I'm the, because I did acid for the first time like a couple years ago. I've only done it once, but I kind of wish I had done it when I was younger. I wish I'd done more when I was younger because it was like boring. And I feel like I would have like, I don't know, opened me up a little bit more.
Right.
Whereas like I did it like a year and a half ago and I would just like found notes in my phone that were just like, most conversations are worthless. Most interactions with most people
Yeah.
aren't worth your time.
Like the last time
It's like, what?
the last time I had a edible, it was at the stand, and I just people were hanging out. I just got panicked and just left. And I wrote a 1,000-word email to myself with the subject "Never Forget." I was criticizing every decision I'd ever made. It's a stream of consciousness. I'm just yelling at myself. At one point, I guess I had like Chris Rock in like another tab in like on YouTube playing. I just start yelling at Chris Rock in the email. It's like, "Shut up, Chris Rock! Shut up, Chris Rock!"
It's a
video.
great edible.
Like, it's crazy.
Somebody should fucking say that anyway. I'm so glad you finally found the right
yelling
drug
at other
for it.
tabs on my laptop.
Well, we got to
Never
wrap this
forget.
up, kids. I mean, we went through it all. We were fucking heaven, hell, God, the devil, drugs. We did it all, Chris.
All of it.
What do you mean, all of it? You're just being agreeable like that. You don't want to be a lackey, son. Get up there and be yourself.
Abby Rosenquist and Dan Perlman have been in the studio. Abby's performing at Good Comedy Theater.
Doing an hour.
We're doing an hour in Philly this Sunday, January 14th, 8 p.m. goodcomedy.com for tickets. Twitter at Abby Rosenquist. And Dan Perlman is being presented by Ron Bennington, performing Tuesday, January 30th, Caroline's Comedy Club. Carolines.com for tickets. Promo code Dan.
And I'm doing a marathon set. I'm going to be up there as long as I can.
Ron's going to do an hour
You're
before
gonna
me.
I'm going to know everybody in the audience. By how much time you want me to do?
Oh, I don't know. Wait, like
70? 80? I mean, I do 3 hours a day here.
It's true.
Yeah, so it's the same thing to me.
Yeah,
I'm going to be doing the same thing there as I do here.
That'll be great. Yeah, I'm very
So
excited.
3
I'm
hours.
very excited for you to host. Yeah, you take a break, come back, we'll
Stay.
do a live
I'm going
read.
to stay on, even if there's other comics, I'm going to stay on stage with them. And then when they're doing the material, I'm going to go, really? You're just saying that? Or you honestly believe it?
That's
Is this like one of your funny jokes? Or are you really saying something?
that's what our show was with
Yeah.
Billy and I. That's,
Yeah.
that's pretty much what it was, more or
Yeah.
less.
All right, that's it. Chris, you keep putting fingers up at me. And it was a 1 minute figure, right?
That was a 1 minute finger.
Now we're in tomorrow. I got the casting
Of Crashing.
The cast of Crashing is here. It's very funny. You guys are gonna love the Artie story this year. They get into drugs, and there's a Bill Burr episode that is it's really good. Bill's really good actor. So I think you're going to enjoy that. Anything else we need to plug?
And that's at 2 p.m. Tomorrow, the Crashing Cast. And then Ron will be at the Ridgefield Playhouse February 9th at 8 p.m. with Rich Voss and Jim Florentine. Go to ridgefieldplayhouse.org for tickets.
I'll be presenting them. This is what I'm going to be doing. I'm
Hell yeah.
presenting. I present everybody. That's what I do. I present people. All right. Enjoy your night, everybody, and we'll see you again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!